Hello, everybody. How's it going out there? We are live. What's good? Hit us with your questions, please. All right. So, Syntell, you are seen. Achara, you are seen. Everybody is seen.
Are we heard?
We should be heard, yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Hear that music blasting too, like a champion.
So, I'm just gonna pin something real quick here. Let's see.
Yo. All right. You know what? Oh, there's a little echo. Who's echoing, Donnie? Can you tell me? What are we?
I don't know. Is there an echo?
What are we echoing on?
Can you change the song?
Yeah.
Is there an echo?
Absolutely do that.
Sorry, we're still sorting out like the technical aspects.
Can I turn it down
yeah,
a
way
little?
down, please. Is there an echo? How's it sound? How's the audio, you guys? Tell me how the audio is. All right. Let me see. Say again, Syntell?
Oh no. Yeah, it sounds going a little in and out, but we can muscle hamster through it. We'll be all right.
Muscle hamster. Okay.
If there's a, how's the audio sound to you guys? It's good. Everyone tell me if it's good or not. No echo. Syntell's a bit low in volume. I think we just fixed that. Okay, so if you super chat, Jaby will read it. If you PayPal, Achara will read it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Achara, that's not yes ending. That's like,
Yeah. I'll definitely read it.
Achara
yeah.
Kirk,
I'll do it. Yeah.
on PayPal.
Oh. How many people here
She will
have seen it
also-
once? How many people here have seen it more than once?
She will also sing your name when she announces your message.
I will. Yes. That is happening.
Okay. Oh, I somehow fucked that up. Let me try writing that again.
It's fine. I think we understand.
No. I have to pin the comment. I don't want to like a messed up message being there the entire stream.
Oh.
Let's see. If you super chat, Jaby will read it. If you PayPal Achara, at Achara Kirk, Achara will read it. She will also sing your name when she announces your message.
All right.
So let me send that, and then pin it. Okay.
F you in super chat.
All right, cool.
Yes.
So we'll do our best to balance out reading regular chats and super chats and whatnot. Obviously, super chats will generally get priority, and then same goes to PayPal chats. Pretty Nikki just left my second viewing. Love you guys so much.
Oh, thanks, Pretty Nikki. What did you think? Or overall, why don't we just talk about what we thought about the movie generally, like how we felt about it before we get into it.
I watched it a second time last night in IMAX. Okay, and for me, it told me for sure that I don't love the movie. I'm going to start with that. There are things I really appreciate about the film, namely Scarlet Witch. I think she is dope. Like, the first time I watched it, I was so intensely focused on Doctor Strange and wanting to appreciate him and his adventure that I actually wasn't paying as much attention to the glory that is Scarlet Witch in this movie, the amazing that she is in this film, right? And so the second time around, I got a chance to better focus on that and her acting and whatnot. And it made me realize furthermore, like, just how frustrated I was at the limitations of the film, because the first Doctor Strange goes way above and beyond, like, what you're expecting, first off, for this intro adventure into Doctor Strange. But then, like, the places it goes is just Banana Town. It takes Inception to a whole other level. So it was almost like, the analogy in my mind is, like, I'm dating this woman, and for my first birthday, she takes me to the 7 wonders of the world, right? She takes me to all these amazing places. We go traveling to have hero dreams of sushi. We, Japan, well, she takes me to the most beautiful beaches in Asia and Brazil, and she takes me everywhere. This is for my first birthday. Second birthday rolls around, and she takes me to Disneyland. That's like, Disneyland's cool and all, but it doesn't compare to the shit the first time around, and that's how it felt for me. That, like, it just felt like I had this expectation based off the first adventure, and this one, it's like, it felt like, the first one felt like a movie, and this one felt like a TV show on a big screen. You know, it's like it's a continuation of WandaVision. It was a continuation of like other stuff from the shows and whatnot, and it's leading into other things. It's like, that's how I felt. It's like, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I enjoyed scenes from it. But overall, I'm like, yeah, I just didn't love this movie. It was like, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
How about you?
I enjoyed it too. I had a lot of fun with this movie. Like, it thoroughly entertained me. There was some really like great scenes. I loved the whole like horror element of it. It was just kind of exciting to see it in a Marvel movie, because I don't feel like we've really had that so much up till now. And yeah, I liked it. I loved Wanda in it, and like you said, like the continuation of her story and stuff. It definitely felt more like a Wanda story.
Yes, it was way more a Wanda movie than a Doctor Strange movie for me.
But that's just because she's an interesting villain in this, and she's someone that we know and love from previous things, and
Sure.
also from WandaVision, which was fantastic. And then you have her in this, and you see her go like full blown evil, and then come all the way right back. And you understand her motives for why she's doing all these awful things, and you can kind of empathize with her, but you're also like, yeah, but you're also killing a lot of people, Wanda. Like, is this a really good idea? And so, yeah, like, I enjoyed it. Is it like my favorite Marvel movie? No, and it's definitely not my least favorite. Yeah, probably not as like groundbreaking and wow as the first one, but I feel like when we watched the first one, we didn't have the burden of expectation.
Sure, you said that a couple of times, but you also gave it the best title last night, which is, I don't think this should be called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I think it should be called Uncle Strange in the Multiverse of Babysitting.
Yeah.
So, Syntell, what would you like to say? What are your feelings about the movie?
Overall, I liked it. I think this is Sam Raimi's best work that I've seen him do. It is Sam Raimi to the max.
Yes.
100.
That's true.
And 50% Sam Raimi, and I was hoping to get that actually a little bit. I wasn't expecting it to get as dark as it did, honestly. I was a little surprised at exactly about how dark it got. Especially when we started dealing with, big, huge spoiler, when we started dealing with the Illuminati and how they got completely
The Illuminati?
dispatched.
The Illuminati?
The Illuminati? Yeah.
The Illuminati. I said
No,
that
that's
wrong?
no. That's his
Right,
line. That's his line in the movie. And Jaby turned to me and was like, "I don't like that line," because like,
the dumbest line ever.
They come in, they're like, "This is the Illuminati," and then Doctor Strange is like, "The Illuminati?" Yeah.
It was pretty bad. Anyway, keep going. I interrupted you. I'm sorry. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No. It's fine. It's fine. Some of the things that I did love is it is a Wanda movie. This really should have been Wanda's movie. Honestly, it really shouldn't even been called Doctor Strange. It should have just been, the misadventures of Wanda and whatever it is that she's going to do to get her babies. I enjoyed House of M, the comic. This ain't that. So if you haven't seen this and you're going to check out, you want to see what House of M is going to be when Wanda absolutely loses her ish, like completely loses it. I highly recommend reading that. This ain't that, but Disney can only go but so far, right?
Yeah.
So I totally respect that. I do like this. It's a bit of a hot topic, and this is strictly coming from me and my point of view, only my point of view. I do like the way that they didn't beat me over the head with the girl power. It just happened. And they're like, hey, we're about to round the ladies up, and we're going to kick some ass. Thank you for not giving me that. Just be like, yo, these are just superheroes doing their thing, and they did it well. And then after the fact, you're like, dang, ladies were really properly represented in there. I didn't have to have it shoved and rammed in my face. That is just my personal opinion of it. I enjoyed that. Thank you for allowing me to enjoy the superhero-dom of it all. My overall big disappointment is that I did want a Doctor Strange movie.
Yes.
Doctor Strange movie.
Exactly.
It wasn't enough to make me hate it. It was kind of, I felt the same way about Mad Max. I wanted to see a Mad Max movie. Instead, I got the story of Furiosa, which was amazing, mind you. That movie is off the damn chain good. But when I initially walked into the theater, I was like, I want to see Mad Max, and I kind of felt that way about this one as well. I do highly recommend it. I think I had more fun, honestly, than I did in Spider-Man. I know you guys are going to tar and feather me, but I did. I enjoyed this one. I had a lot more fun with this one. It didn't seem as hokey. This one just really just seemed strange.
Let me take a moment to acknowledge some of the super chats, and Achara's going to check out the PayPals. So, Pretty Nikki, forgot to say I loved it. Yeah. I'm glad you loved it, and I'm glad there are people who love this movie. That makes me happy. Just so you guys know, like, it makes me happy that there are people, because even if I don't like something, generally speaking, unless we're talking about Shape of Water, I'm happy that people like it. Vishnu Bhardwaj. Charlize Theron is Clea. Anish Mandal. Yeah. The script did Reed Richards dirty. Made the smartest man alive look like an absolute idiot. Yes, it did, and I have a lot to say about that. It did. Karan Walia, would you react to Formula One Drive to survive Netflix show? We're talking about Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, but thank you, Karan Walia.
I heard that's a fantastic show, by the way.
Ruchika Paul.
Show it is.
Ruchika Paul says, I liked What If episode more than this. I can totally see that. I feel like the What If episode focused on Doctor Strange did Doctor Strange so much better than this movie did.
It was a fantastic episode.
Oh, okay, that standard one. Okay, the standalone one with just him. Okay, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
episode 4, I think.
Like, it really dove into Doctor Strange's story. That was a Doctor Strange episode about Doctor Strange, not Doctor Strange and the multiverse of uncling. Like, it was just Doctor Strange going through his shit and dealing with his shit and dealing with like his inner journey and coming out the other side, realizing he'd completely destroyed an entire universe.
Yeah,
like. That was, like, over the course of the entire What If series, like, I feel like they did Doctor Strange so much better than they did here in the Multiverse of Madness. I think that, I liked what you said, Ruchika Paul. I second that. Abhishek Verma, liked, but didn't love Illuminati part. The Illuminati?
Well, so much of the movie got cut, right? Yeah. Like, it was a much longer film. Like, Jaby says 3 hours. I've heard some people go like 2 hours and 40 minutes. Whatever. Like, at least 2/3 of what they had been cut. So if it feels rushed, that's probably why. It doesn't really make sense.
A lot of the movie definitely was cut. Like, you can see it, like, scene to scene. There are moments where it's like, whoa, that definitely got truncated a lot.
Like, emotional development, what?
We'll get into that in a hot second. TM Animate. Thank you for your very generous super, TM Animate. Love the film, but would have liked to see Scarlet Witch tormenting Wanda more. Her switch to full-out villain from WandaVision was a bit too instant for me. Still really enjoyed it. I felt the same way, but a lot of people didn't feel that. A lot of people were like, no, I saw where she was at the end of WandaVision. It makes sense that she ends up here. We just don't see that transition. And I'm like, yeah, but I want to see that. Like, we spent the whole time thinking she's a good person through WandaVision, then straight up she's murdering every fucking bitch and Nancy in this movie. Like, everybody's getting murdered. No empathy, no reservation, just straight up, you die, bitch. You die. I want my kids.
Dies.
You die. You get to die. We're Oprah murder up in this bitch. And so everybody's getting killed, left, right, and center. Like, without mercy. And so at the end, I couldn't feel bad for her. I'm like, bitch, you a murderer. You murdered all them sorcerers just because you wanted to hang out with your kids. Anish Mandal. The movie never showed Wanda getting corrupted by Darkhold. No way Marvel expected every movie-going audience to check out the post-credits of D+, show on a platform that didn't even exist 2 years ago. Many casuals were confused.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. Last night we were sitting next to a couple of young girls who were,
who wouldn't shut the fuck up.
They wouldn't shut up, which I didn't mind because I was enjoying their excitement because, like, when Reed Richards came out, this girl was literally, like, blowing out my eardrums, screaming to high hell. It was like a Beatles concert or like that's a very old reference, but like, like a Justin Bieber concert, they're just like, oh my God. But then at the end, they were like, oh, I was kind of confused. And I was wondering, oh, did you guys not watch WandaVision? Is that
Did you keep up with the PayPals, by the way? Yes. Victor Von Doom. Am I the only one who thought Tom Cruise was in this movie? Nope. I think a lot of people thought Tom Cruise was going to be in this movie. And I was waiting for him.
It's obvious that he was taken out. It's pretty obvious because one of the big major founding members of the Illuminati is, Iron Man. And he's not there, but yet, his contraptions are there. So it's a big glaring gaping hole with him not being there. So I'm assuming that, maybe something happened, left on the floor. We'll probably see him in another instance.
Keep it up in there. Damaris Love. To be fair, Reed has no common sense, regardless of his intelligence in any form of media. I can't answer that. Maybe Syntell can speak to that.
I mean, he's the smartest person in the room, but maybe common sense may not necessarily be his thing. There's a bit of truth to that.
It seems like he has a really good heart. He was trying to
he straight up
empathize
gave
with
the
her.
answer to WandaVision. Hey, Wanda, if you don't stop, Mr. Black Bolt over here is gonna mess you up just with a whisper with his mouth. And she goes, "What mouth?" It's like,
did you forget you all were dealing with a witch?
She straight up Neo'd his ass from the interrogation scene in the Matrix. I'm just like, you literally. Go ahead.
No. I really wanted to see like a full blown knockdown, drag out fight with.
I did too.
Yeah.
And her, and I didn't. But I know there's rules of cinema regarding the times that we're in that you can't really have a good guy fighting a lady. You can't really do that. There has to be like an element of bad guy-is to it in order to justify that. But I still missed it. I felt like that's the big bad. I want my big hero to fight.
Hold on.
Wait, hold on. Why can't a guy fight a lady?
He's Syntell's Southern, so he's just being respectful. Okay, Michael.
I think it's okay.
Michael says, hold on, I just want to address some of the chats here. So Michael says, the writing for America Chavez was a fail. Her powers activate when she gets scared by a bee, but not when she's falling from super high multiple times or when Scarlet Witch goes psycho on her. Michael's got a couple of good chats in here. I want to read them out to you guys. So Michael goes, I can do this all day. 30 seconds later, dead.
Yeah, I know.
I thought that was funny, actually. Michael Anderson says boobies. No reason, just felt like saying that. I think that's a different Michael. And Michael says we have. Oh, it went away. Hold on. Where'd it go? We have to keep you in this cube. You might have diseases. 30 seconds later. Hey, let's stand out in the open with all the world leaders.
I know there were definitely some things that didn't really make sense. But regarding the whole bee stinging thing, I mean, maybe I can kind of see how that might happen. Although I don't think the bee even really stung her because it looked like her powers activated when the bee landed on her. So she was just scared of the bee. And that was the first time that happened, right? Presumably she's never been scared of anything before, or maybe her powers...
That was her unveiling,
yeah. Her powers just activated in that moment. And then I guess maybe as you go on, things that used to scare you a lot as a child maybe don't scare you quite as much anymore. But yeah, definitely a lot of the stuff like falling from great heights and...
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch being
she should have been going
psycho.
through portals left and right.
Yeah.
They set up a few Chekhov's guns in this movie. She goes, okay, rule number 1, you don't know anything in this. Rule number 1 of multiverse traveling, you don't know anything. Rule number 2, always get food. And neither of those things ever really come back. They only stay in the one multiverse, really. And Paulo Cardoso, directing was great, but writing was really bad. Thank you, Paulo Cardoso, for your generous super, and thank you, Damaris Love and Victor Von Doom for your generous supers. Everybody, all of the supers, I really appreciate it. You keeping this stream going. Go ahead, Syntell. You had something to say? I got lots to say.
Nah.
Okay.
Go for it.
So let me pull up my plot notes here. I literally went through and started writing out the entire movie. Sorry, let me switch to this screen. I started writing out the entire film just so I could have a sense as to where to go. Now. The beginning of the film starts out with Defender Strange. Okay, so Defender Strange. My first complaint about this movie is I thought we were going to see a lot more Strange on Strange action. That sounds like a porno, but I thought we were going to see more Strange on Strange action, like Strange encountering other Doctor Stranges. Right. It's the multiverse of madness. I'm thinking madness is that sounds Banana Town. What are they going to do this time? And it's It didn't really go to the heights I was expecting. I thought Strange was going to have to take out a bunch of other Strangers like Jet Li in The One. Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be some Highlander type shit or something where these other Strangers are trying to execute him for some reason.
There can be only one.
There can be only one. And it's also called the Multiverse of Madness. And I have seen that I'm not the only one who complained about this.
I saw someone in the chat complaining there's not enough multiverse.
A lot of people keep up with the regular chat, by the way.
Yes.
A lot of people were like, yo, there's not enough multiverse action going on here. I'm like, I agree with that 1,000%. We went to 2 places and the movie stops. It literally went to 2 spots. It goes to New York, future New York, where Doctor Strange is dead. And what else? Oh, and it went to the place where everything was falling apart because of the incursion.
Well, yeah. Well, it was a big tease, and they showed in the trailer, and then when they showed it in theater, it was really beautiful too. And that's when they're smashing through all the different multiverses, and you get to see all the different variations of them being liquid, of them being in all these different time spaces and stuff like that. It kind of set it kind of like set your palate. It's like, oh man, we're gonna really explore some stuff, right?
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, they set up some things that they didn't really answer on. Like I was really curious about the liquid world, and they're like, you really don't want to go there because you know
you can't
it's kind of
eat.
difficult
It's hard
to get out. I'm like, oh well, that's I'm like, well, we'll definitely see that a little bit later on with some villain doing this, that, or the third, or fighting and breaking through the multiverses. Like you're kind of looking at like none of that really happened.
No.
Instead, they just stuck with the horror elements. It's a horror film.
Yeah.
That just happens to be kickstarted by a multiverse.
I do like the horror elements. I just want to get that out there. Like I do like that stuff. The problem is, okay, in order to fully appreciate this show, you have to be a Disney Plus subscriber.
This movie.
I'm sorry. See what I did
Yeah.
there? It basically is a show. Okay, so in order to fully appreciate this movie, you have to be a Disney Plus subscriber watching the shows on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Chekhov's gun was inadvertently set up with the show Loki, because there's all this crazy multiversal traveling going on and like crazy Banana Town stuff happening. Loki's show did way more as far as multiverse is concerned than this movie did, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like every iteration of Wanda and her kids is exactly the same in every single dimension. I'm like, I thought the whole thing was like you could be a crocodile in one dimension, an old version of yourself in another. You could be a lady in this dimension. None of that ever comes up at all. So Loki, like, is Chekhov's gun for this movie as far as I'm concerned. Let's see, Wanda. Okay, so we got a couple more supers I got to acknowledge real quick. Victor Von Doom. Wanda did Xavier like Mike Myers. That was some OG Halloween shit.
Yeah. That was terrifying.
Yeah.
I was scared.
You know,
Go
ahead, man. Go ahead.
Oh, no, please. I was just gonna say that was the best part. You know, it's just the thrill and not knowing what's gonna come around the corner, and the jump scares was fun. And
I'm not a horror fan, but the way she took out Bolt, I was like, that is sick. That was crazy because I just wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting Marvel to go to the edginess that this film did. I actually really when his mouth is shut and he's freaking out and then his brain explodes, I was like, what the fuck? What is happening in this movie? This is bananas. And then Reed Richards got taken out so quick. I'm like, he definitely was a last minute add-on. There's no way, like, you can tell that he was added in way late in production. There's some things I know I can't talk about. He was added in way late in production, okay? Like he came in last second. They're like, hey, we can't have him actually battle Wanda. We'll have him get executed super fast. I'm like, but he's... Okay, anyway. He's supposed to be one of the Illuminati's, and yet he gets taken out like that. Like
Illuminati.
The fight... Yeah. And so the fight comes down to girl power, which you said didn't feel like it was shoved in your face. I felt like it was shoved in my face.
I noticed it, definitely.
But I don't mind that much. I don't mind a little bit girl on girl action. That's cool by me. Whatever. The three-way girl on girl action. It's cool.
Well, it makes sense. Well, what I was saying earlier, it makes sense that if you're gonna have somebody fight her, it can't be like a really, really good guy, and you can't have that happen in, I don't know, a Disney film. So you get the ladies to do it. So it's justifiable. I see why they did it. It was a smart move. It worked.
What bothered me is this. Captain Marvel is supposed to be the baddest bitch in all the galaxy, in all the universe, right? She's supposed to be the baddest. A little rock fell on her and she did. I'm like...
Yeah.
Somehow,
some rocks.
I don't really understand in that moment, because I watched it again last night, right? And I was watching specifically that moment going, okay, so the thing fell on her. I don't understand. Is it because, like, Wanda took away her eye mask? Because, like, she took away some of her costume.
No, she's just powerful.
And
she's like Superman. She's just powerful.
Yeah, I was like, wait, but her costume doesn't, like, help her have powers, right? So what happened in that moment? Did she just forget that she had powers, that she could have just gone and just stopped it from falling down? It was definitely a super easy, barely an inconvenience moment where, you know...
Although there was that one Superman movie where, like, a statue falls on Superman and then he dies.
Does he really?
No, it's impossible. He's fucking Superman.
Exactly.
Why did she get killed by a statue? That was so stupid. It makes me so mad. Anyway, I thought the way
Wanda ends up getting killed by rocks the same way too. I mean, so it's kind of like...
I don't think she died.
No, she's not dead. She's just hanging out, just sleeping. But
you know, Hollywood rule, you don't see the body. So
exactly.
I did appreciate the way Captain Carter got taken out, though. I thought that was pretty amazing because, like, she got taken out by her.
They didn't show it.
Yeah, you can't show that though.
Wait, what?
Was she got taken out by her own shield?
They show Black Bolt get his head blown off. Why can't you show her getting cut in half?
Because that would be sexist.
They literally turned Reed Richards into ribbons in front of us. Yeah. But you can't show her get cut in half?
Because that would be sexist. You can't do that.
Because it would be R-rated. Like, I want to see the R-rated cut of this movie. But like, I knew as soon as in the beginning, when Gargantos gets his eye poked out by Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
And then you think, okay, that's all right. And then the thing gets pulled out, and his whole bloody eyeball just starts like falling down to the ground. And I was like, oh yeah, we're in for it now. It set the tone.
Okay, I could see where you're coming from, Syntell, with regards to not seeing Captain Carter cut in half. I mean, in Star Wars Episode 1, they didn't show us Darth Maul, cut in half. We just it alluded to it. It happened off camera, right?
Nah, man. If you're gonna do the horror trope, then do the horror trope. Do it.
My sarcasm is getting lost in the translation of the internet here. So what I'm trying to say is, in Episode 1 of Star Wars, which is a Disney property now, they straight up show Darth Maul get chopped in half, and it's fine. He falls, although it was a lightsaber, so maybe that's why it's okay. Whereas here it would have been bloody. With Black Bolt, it was not. Yeah, it wasn't super bloody.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is what it is. Like, Miss Marvel, she had rocks fall on her, and it was implied. Captain Carter got cut in half, and it was implied. But,
Oh, we got a bunch of supers I got to catch up on.
Had his memory out.
Hold on. I got to catch up on all these supers. Give me a second. Nikhil Wadwani. He says, Strange talks about Spider-Man. How didn't he forget? He did forget Peter Parker. He didn't forget Spider-Man.
I had the same conversation with Jaby when I watched it the first time. I was like, wait, hold up. But he didn't mention Peter Parker at all.
Varun Srivastava. How did you guys find the pace of the movie? I just craved for
They broke Xavier's neck on camera. I'm sorry. I'm thinking out loud. Sorry.
No blood was shown.
No blood was shown.
It's just another uber violent moment that you got to see. No, you saw his neck go in a very uncomfortable position and you heard the crack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't see his innards.
Yeah. That's where we draw the line. That's where Disney draws the line.
Yeah. So, hold on. Varun Srivastava. He goes, how did you guys find the pace of the movie? I just craved a bit more. Hashtag Raimi cut. The pace of the movie was clunky to me a little bit. Like, there were instances where I felt like it was jumping forward, and then there were instances where it just was like rushing. I mean, where it was slowing down. And I was like, why is it slowing down here? I don't understand. The pace was just sort of like a car from the 50s. You're trying to get started. That's what it felt like to me. It's like going, let's go. Okay, it's slowing down. That's what it felt like a broken roller coaster. It was fun still. Andrew Davison. Thank you for your very, very generous super, Andrew Davison. Really appreciate it. What is so frustrating about Marvel right now is that I feel they have a bunch of cool one-offs with some interconnections. It's very hard to see where they are going with their universe, but past movies had an endgame.
Yeah, it definitely had an endgame. Yeah.
I think that was you know what? You mentioning endgame is actually helping me to realize that I think a lot of us were expecting this movie to be on par with something like Endgame, to be like that scale. Perhaps not with the scale of the cast, but certainly in terms of just like the scope of it, we are expecting this to blow everything out of the water. Because with the end of Loki and the end of, I forget what the other end of something else, like where all this multiversal stuff is opening up, I'm expecting this movie to like take what Loki started and just jump to Insanity Town.
Yeah.
And it never really does. I think that's my issue. But anyway, yeah, like all these one-offs and some interconnections, I feel the same way, Andrew Davison. What about you, Syntell? Got quiet.
Yeah, I mean, it just, I think whatever it was I was left on editing room floor was vital.
Yes.
Probably.
It feels like it was vital because it does feel incomplete. So yeah, it's just I'm just more disappointed in that than anything else.
Okay, so at the very beginning of the film, after Strange almost straight up murders Chavez, Defender Strange, they go through the portal and Doctor Strange wakes up in his bed like, right? He's like heavily breathing, and then suddenly all of that hyperventilation stops when he looks at his watch. You can tell stuff has been taken out of this movie right from the get-go, right from the start. His hyperventilation just drops out, and he looks at the watch. He's like, okay, I'm good. Let's go. And he goes. There's a scene where at Camartage, when Strange is talking to Wanda, and they're floating in the sky, And Wanda goes, I can help you out, Strange. I can take you to meet a universe where you get to be with Christine.
Yeah.
And then you see suddenly, like, Strange has tears in his eyes, and he's like, you will not pass. You shall not pass. Gandalf style. He had tears in his eyes. Something happened in that dialogue that was crucial to make that transition where he felt emotional, and we missed all that shit.
Yeah.
All that was gone from the movie.
Well, I feel like that's a lot of what was gone from the movie was the emotional stuff with Doctor Strange. They tried to add that back in there with when we discover he had a sister, his sister died in like a lake accident. And I felt like that was kind of put in there to be like, oh, we all know that Wanda has this whole like emotional drive and this whole emotional thing. Hold on, Doctor Strange has some too. Here we go. And it just felt like it was kind of put there for that purpose. That's how I felt. I don't know how other people felt about that, but...
Thomas M. Jacobs' Clea appearance in end credits saying the incursions caused by Doctor Strange was similar to Loki series TVA showing up to Loki and saying he broke the timeline branch. It's interesting that Clea shows up instead of the TVA, but I guess that's neither here nor there. It's also interesting that Vision never shows up.
Yeah, someone was saying that earlier. I saw
you mean White Vision, right? White Vision.
Or any Vision variant.
White Vision, right?
Any visions. Any Vision at all would have been a remarkable appearance in this movie. It's also bizarre that at the Camartage, every sorcerer in the world is summoned, but no Avengers. No Shang-Chi shows up, even though we just got a movie. Where what's his name goes, yo, we need you here at the Camartage. I gotta explain some shit to you. It's gonna go fucking Banana Town. And he doesn't bring in Shang-Chi. He doesn't bring in Shang-Chi to fight the greatest threat to the multiverse.
You can't kung fu your way out of this.
Come on now. Come on. Where's Shang-Chi? Come on.
No, she's a witch. You need sorcerers. It's like magic against magic, although maybe they would have done better if they'd had some Avengers or, some brute power there. But like see how well did the Illuminati do against her magic? Not so well. Exactly.
The
Illumidetti. That's what happened. Everybody died.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about Clea? I don't know anything about Clea.
She's another sorceress, isn't she?
Then she is... Right, she's another sorcerer supreme of her universe.
The Dormammu.
And then I think, and then I want to say that her and Strange end up.
Yeah, they end up being lovers. That's all I know.
I watched Christine.
I watched Jeremy Johns' movie review, spoiler review for Doctor Strange, and he was very honest. He said that when Charlize Theron shows up, he asked himself, was she in Eternals? Like, he straight up was uncertain as to whether you had the same question.
I did too. Yeah. For like a hot fleeting moment, and I was like, oh no, that's Angelina Jolie. Oh man, my bad. I got him like confused for like a hot second.
Hey, not all white people look alike, Syntell. Don't be racist. So, Sunny627 says, let's be honest, the movie was pretty underwhelming in parts. I thought should have been longer. In parts, I thought it was dragging. That's exactly how I felt. Like the plot was just a little bit like, and don't get me started on the exposition dialogues. # do better. # you need a Falcon to show up. We're like, do better.
Do better. Yeah.
Okay, so KPT. Why did Strange have a third eye in the credit scene?
Oh, that was just indicating the darkness, right? The dark spirits that are still connected to him.
Mm-hmm.
And so
you seem like
he wasn't freaking out either. So it was more like like acceptance too. This is just the new part of me. So let's run with it. Because the first time, which was a really dope way to end, like very horror-ish.
Yeah.
Then roll the credits or whatever it is, and then the next scene is kind of like me and my eye. Let's roll.
Yeah, he's like, that's just an extension of his superpower now. Why not? Everyone wants to open their third eye, right?
Yeah, it was just strange to me that he was able to make frenzies with his third eye between the two ending moments of the movie. It's like
we don't know how much time
he goes, elapsed, my god, my eye, and then the second scene, he's cool. It's like, oh, we good, we buddies now, we homies, we in the eye are good. I'm just like, what? But 2 seconds ago, you were freaking out in the middle of the street. What the hell happened? Speaking of near the end of the movie, by the way, I want to point out that getting to watch the Kung Fu Hustle scene again with Strange and Dark Strange was dope on IMAX. Like him taking the notes and like flying them at Dark Strange and Dark Strange sending back like some Beethoven or Bach or whatever the fuck it was. Like all that was dope. That was great. Like they straight up stole from Kung Fu Hustle and I loved it. Go ahead, man.
Yes, they did. Yeah, I was gonna say, which did you prefer, the Kung Fu Hustle one or the Doctor Strange version?
Doctor Strange version, by and large, the Doctor Strange version. It was. Yeah, the Doctor Strange version took it to a whole other level that I was not expecting. It was like, I think they could have gone even further. That's the thing with this movie. It's like everything could have gone further, but like I liked what I got,
I that scene, watching it again last night, I was like, I think that's my favorite scene in the movie. Like it was just so much fun, so creative. I loved the way the music perfectly complemented each of the Doctor Stranges.
Right.
Like I loved Dark Strange with the kind of, I don't know where that song is from, if it's from like a classic Dracula or something where it has all those like...
It's not only Beethoven. Bum. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it was that.
I think you confused it for Dracula's music, but it
was...
I think
it is Dracula's music.
No, I think it was Beethoven's Fifth Symphony.
Okay.
So it's 1:03 p.m. right now. I think Mordo just got out of that pit he was stuck inside of. So for some odd reason, he couldn't, join the fight. Doctor Strange was able to leap out like Jackie Chan, and Mordo's just like, now I know why, Mordo from your universe hates you. I'm like, that's supposed to be funny, but I don't get the joke. I don't understand why, like, what connection he was making to... Can someone explain that to me in the comments? Or Syntell, can you explain that to me? What was Mordo's trying to say?
No, he was just trying to say...
No idea. It was... Yeah.
He was just trying to say that, like, you're an asshole. But I think... Okay.
Hold on. Syntell was trying to say something. Go ahead, man. What were you trying to say?
Oh, no. I was going to say, like, he just turned, like, super evil real quick just from, Doctor Strange just having a few little side comments. I was like, well, that was really quick. I knew you were against me the entire time, and you were probably the person that came for me and all that. And then he was like, yes, I'm full-blown evil now. I was like, wow, that was very fast. I just didn't see...
The transition? What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if anyone else noticed, like, I really like Chiwetel Ejiofor.
He's dope.
He's
dope.
I want to front end with that, but then I noticed, and I don't know if this is like a Chiwetel Ejiofor thing or if it's just a Mordo thing, but a lot of the time, the way he was saying his dialogue, he would start the sentence, pause, and then say the last word. And it just kind of made the dialogue land different. Yeah, it felt Shakespearean, and I was like,
Captain Kirkian.
Yeah, I was like, oh, is that what you're trying to go for with that? And so I wonder if that's maybe why that line didn't really land very well at the end, because it just kind of felt like this weird Shakespearean performed line in a Marvel movie.
There's a lot of goofy talking in the movie, and I think that's just Sam Raimi. Like, there's a lot of... We'll meet again, Spider-Man. There's a lot of like just that sort of attitude to the whole movie, if you think about it. And the Illuminati, like there's just a lot of goofy, like dialogue in the film that's sort of like that. So I don't know. In terms of what you were saying, Syntell, the transition, I think that it was something that was just sort of there the entire time under the surface. And Strange just managed to bring it out real quick. But the movie was kind of like that in general, if you think about it. Like, the entire film was sort of like that. When Wong was watching his sorcerer students getting tortured, it was like 2 seconds. He's like, okay, I'll tell you. It's like, yo, you just watched all of your peeps get obliterated. She's like stringing them like for 10 seconds, and you're already giving in and taking her to Wondergore. Like, maybe hold out a little bit longer. Just a little bit, but that again felt like a scene that got truncated quite significantly. It's like we know where this is going. We got to keep it moving. This film felt in some ways like Star Wars Episode 9 to me. Just the where it just kept like jumping forward. Like gotta keep moving. This fetch quest, gotta keep moving. Gotta go here to go here, go to here. If it had that kind of energy to it.
Yeah.
If you pay through Super Chat, Jaby reads it. If you pay through PayPal, Achara reads it. But if you pay them in cash, then Syntell will read.
I just
cash money, baby. Straight cash, homie.
I just saw this comment from Amy. She says, the multiverse was actually Doctor Strange's journey and understanding the different versions of him and trying to change it. Sorry to know you guys missed out that point. What do you guys think about this comment?
I don't know.
It's his journey and understanding.
I thought that the Ultrons were well underused in this movie. They're supposed to be, like, there's a whole movie There's a whole movie where Ultron is the supervillain of the film, and like here, Ultron is just like he may as well not even. He was as good as like the droids in Star Wars episodes 1 and 2. Like it's just completely useless. These aren't the Roger. Like those fucking droids. That's basically what Ultron was in this movie. If you think about it, like useless.
And what they seem. Yeah, and they I go back again, like they seem disconnected without Iron Man. Like those two don't connect; they're just floating in space. Like how did this group of people, the Illuminati, even get them together, even to begin with, when you don't see Iron Man there?
Illuminati. Gritton. Wow. If Krasinski was last minute, who did he replace? I think that Marvel was like kind of interchanging people, either because they couldn't decide who they wanted in the film, or it's because they wanted to like keep it a mystery so people wouldn't know who was actually in the film. It was like their Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire thing for Doctor Strange. They were just really trying to keep it under wraps.
Yeah, but like they really tried to keep it under wraps. The only person they didn't tease at all was Reed Richards. And I'm like so upset at the marketing of this movie, because can you imagine if we had no idea that Professor X was going to be in the movie, that Haley Atwell as Captain Carter was not going to be in the movie, and then we all showed up at the theater, and then we see the shield come in, and we're all like, fuck, you know, like, and then like we see the wheelchair and like Professor X's voice, and we're like losing our damn minds. Like, everybody cheered, but we all knew that was coming. And then when Reed Richards popped up, of course, if you've been on the internet and you've heard all the conspiracies, you kind of were like, maybe John Krasinski as Reed Richards is showing up. And then when he does, everybody lost their damn mind, because it was like a proper surprise. But I feel like they ruined so many of the surprises here. Like, why?
To be fair, there were people at the theater who didn't know all these surprises were coming. Like, they don't pay attention as much as we do to the trailers and whatnot. However, that being said, it was so strange to no pun intended. It was so strange to me, because it's like everyone's cheering in the theater, and it's almost like I can hear Marvel, the omnipotent overlord voice going, "Oh, you like that? You like that? They all about to die." It's like it was so strange to me.
Fodder.
Yeah.
I did really enjoy with the oh my gosh, Professor Xavier. He still had the old school 1996 wheelchair. I thought that was pretty dope. And then you could hear like faintly in the background
the music. The music is what got me.
I was like, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's my Professor X. Let's go with that.
They didn't give that away in the trailer. So Abhishek Verma. It feels more of a setup for Doctor Strange 3, isn't it? And I go, for me, I guess so. This doesn't give me a lot of enthusiasm for what's to come is the thing. It's like, if it's going to be more of this discombobulated mess, I'm not enthusiastic. I'm going to watch it anyway because I'm a fan, but I'm not enthusiastic about it. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic going forward. How about you guys?
I mean, I'm in it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm in it to win it, bitch.
I'm in it now. I'll watch all the things because I want to keep up with the story. I feel like if you miss one, you're screwed at this point. You know,
with the setup right now, with this live stream, Syntell looking like Black Zordon. This big head floating.
Yo, whatever. I know, right? Put your powers together and be Power Rangers. Anyways, there are some things that I did like. I did like some of the Easter eggs. I did like the Easter egg with Reed Richards staying and speaking on his children. We heard earlier regarding, what was it? It was Agatha all along. Agatha
Harkness,
whatever it is. Agatha Harkness. In the comics, she's like the Reed Richards nanny for the most part. So it's kind of cool to maybe see the dots connect with that. There are other members of the Illuminati that we didn't see. One of the bigger, more powerful ones is Namor. There's a through line and possibility that maybe Wakanda does fall in the comics, and it falls as a result of Namor. So maybe that could be kind of like in the back pocket. There's also a Black Panther as well. We didn't see any reference to him whatsoever. So it's just, and then also like in this particular storyline, we got reference to the fact that Doctor Strange is the most dangerous person in the MCU. But if I remember right in the comics, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it's actually Reed Richards. there's an evil version of him that's running around because he's the smartest person in the universe. So it's kind of interesting to kind of like see Kevin Feige still like give homage to the comics and then yet still make it his own.
Before I forget, have you ever seen the movie Dark City?
Long time ago.
Did you see Dark City?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't remember.
So near the end of the
though.
movie Dark City, just if you guys don't know, Dark City is a movie where a guy wakes up in a dark city and he comes to find out that basically the city is under control of these like alien-looking creatures who are like trying to experiment on humans and whatnot, and he ends up becoming just as powerful as them. And at the epic battle at the end of the film, he's using his mind to fight like the most powerful of the alien guys. They look like Hellraiser guys, but anyway.
Oh yeah.
They're fighting each other, and it's like this epic battle where everything's falling apart. You know, like the end of Inception, for instance, everything is just falling apart. I wanted a scene like that between Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch, where they are battling with like at a 10 with all of their power against each other, and everything around them. It's like Dragon Ball fucking Z up in this bitch, where everything is just being decimated. They did more with the end of Moon Knight in that regard than they did in this movie. Like, we needed to see some crazy ass shit just get decimated, and nothing like that happened in this movie. I just need to point that out.
The power of love is the most powerful power of all.
Old Mom Jay says, I'm going to sound like an old here. I'm going to sound old here, but these are all the simple movies and shows that led up to the amazing Endgame. Now we are back in all of those simple movies that we hope to build up to another Endgame. That is true.
That is actually a good point.
That is true.
You know, like
it's a hard, fat-ass horse pill to swallow.
Yeah.
But it's true.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think we've just been spoiled by the fact that we had Infinity War and Endgame, that we've forgotten that it took 10 years of build-up with individual little movies, like Old Mom Jay said. So, yeah, we're in that phase now, you know?
Rahul Dutt. I'm going to power through some of these super chats. Rahul Dutt. Marvel movies earning more than Hindi film in India. That's interesting because Star Wars does not earn at all in India. Adhil Shah Jahan. Thank you for your super. Shivamani Veluvolu. A longer duration would have been way better. Rushed arcs, rushed fight scenes. America Chavez was pretty bad. Wanda the MVP. Wong screams. Oh, Wong screams. Thank you for pointing that out. Fortify your minds. Like, I'm like, calm down, Jackie. Like he kept fucking like shouting the entire movie. He might as well have been going, Uncle, the restaurant. Like he was shouting the entire film. The entire film. I'm half Asian. I get to do that.
Shut up. I liked Wong. Okay, I get it.
I'll body your shame for you.
Like the entire film. He's like, can't you be happy that she'll be, your children will be loved in another dimension? She's like, nope. You go down, bitch. Like the entire film, he kept screaming all of his lines. And I'm like, this dude's a good actor.
He is.
There's no way that these were his first choices. All of this had to be Sam Raimi telling him, give me more, give me more. It reminded me of Stanley Kubrick talking to Jack Nicholson on the set of The Shining, where Jack Nicholson was like, he was doing his performance his way, and Kubrick was like, I need more. And Jack Nicholson's like, I feel like if I do any more, I'm going to be over the top. And Kubrick is like, that's what I want. I want it to be over the top. And so I feel like Sam Raimi was doing the same thing on this set, because if you watch that actor, what's his name, Benedict Wong?
Yes.
In any other movie, that dude is fucking dope. He's a really, really, really good actor. That's not his actual natural voice. He speaks with like a really like highfalutin British accent or something.
No, he speaks with a Northern English accent.
Or Northern English, sorry.
Yeah.
But like he's very well spoken. So this is a voice. This is a put-on voice for the movie. But like it felt like it got Jackie Chanified to the max. Fortify your minds! Like, goddamn.
Well, he's in the middle of battle. Can't you give it to him there?
I know, but all of it just felt very goofy to me. That's all. It just felt goofy. Like, the whole thing just felt goofy.
I wanted more of him, but I've always been saying that about
he's a fan favorite for sure. Like, people love the shit out of Wong.
No, that's the thing. Yeah. Like, I was so happy. Like, I loved him in the first fight scene with Gargantos, and he had all of those like cool weapons and stuff, and he was doing that wushu stuff. I was like, yes, Wong, that's what I want.
The weapon you're talking about, the actual like Chinese martial arts reference to that is called a dart rope, I think.
So cool.
Yeah, I think it's called a dart rope.
I mean, love that.
The stunt guy who was doubling him did a fantastic job with all like the butterfly twists and stuff like that. And I thought Wong looked he came out the gate looking dope. But then, like, all the shouting just got to be a bit, fortify your mind. I'm like, damn, dude, calm down. Like, over and over again.
I think because I just started reading one of the comics, too, and Wong is pretty fun in that. And he is a formidable fighter. That's, like, his whole thing. Physically, he's really good. And so I was like, yes, I like seeing that in the movie.
So tell me this. How come when after someone strikes you in the face, Syntell, you have carte blanche to strike back? Right? That's how a fight works.
Yeah.
Okay. How come when Scarlet Witch started striking their shield made by the sorcerers, no one was shooting back? They waited up until she broke the barrier, until she breached their barrier, before they decided to whip out the cannons, which weren't out for some reason, by the way, until after she got through the barrier. I'm like, how are these cannons not already trained on her? These are like war questions I'm confused about. Like,
perhaps they haven't had to fight a war in a long time, A. And B,
I don't know, man.
They're still like, maybe she's still our friend. You know what I mean?
I think it's more B. Yeah, I think they're still trying to hold on to the concept and the idea, because she wasn't she was an Avenger. Well, kind of indirectly. Yeah,
she's not on the lunchbox
I don't
anymore.
know.
Anyways,
I feel like they all kind of knew what was up. You don't put up this Hogwarts shield, okay, without anticipating that this shit's about to get really fucking bad.
Well, defensive first, right?
That's what I'm saying. She attacked, though. She attacked. As soon as she attacks, those cannons coming out. We got to be ready. She's about to breach this, because we got some, like, low-level sorcerers in here who don't have the fortify your mind, who don't have the best mind. You know she's going to breach it. Like, you know she's going to breach it. We all know. If we know, they must know. And so, like, for the cannons not to be already out kind of pissed me off. Like, the moment they brought them out, they got decimated. That whole action sequence went super quick.
Oh.
I'm like, you've got all of the sorcerers in the world, so it's like an Avengers level assemble.
Yeah.
And just like gone. I'm like, come on. Like, I know she's.
No, that was a trash assemble. It was a trash assemble.
Yeah.
It was all weak people. You're right. They should have Shang-Chi in there. They should Shang-Chi, excuse me, and a whole bunch of other folks. I'm like, that's it. You're right. The battle on Shang-Chi's mythical island in between the spaces was far more dire and inspired than what we saw in the movie.
But to be fair, that was an epic end battle, and this was still a beginning of the movie battle, and so we still have a whole bunch of movie left over.
You know, there's this little movie called Star Wars that had this super epic opening sequence.
Yes.
And so I feel like it's okay to have an epic opening battle. Like, it's fine.
You can just throw in as many epic battles into a film as you want.
But anyway,
I'm fine with it.
It started off really good with the very first fight scene with Doctor Strange, when they were running through whatever the in-between worlds were, when he was fighting that very first creature, the very first rendition of him. That was a pretty good fight scene. No? You guys didn't like that one at all? Okay.
Cristiano Ronaldo Avero. Hey, Jabara and Syntell with the intel. I'm disappointed that Tom Cruise didn't show up, even though we had Sentinels. Second, contrary to popular opinion, Illuminati fight was so goddamn underwhelming. The Illuminati? I half agree with you, because there was some dope shit going on in that fight when they were just taking the chamber, whatever it's called, apart. The Illuminati chamber, when when Captain Marvel or Maria Rambeau and Captain Carter were going toe-to-toe with Scarlet Witch. I was actually really excited by that fight. The first time I watched it, I was so pumped up. I was like, oh my God, this is getting nuts when they killed Bolt. And then they took out Reed Richards. I'm like, shit! Like, I was actually like really excited the first time I watched it. The second time is when I started to get critical, because I was like, yo, like, Reed Richards just straight up told her how to kill Bolt. And then he got taken out like spaghetti in 2 seconds. Like, this was really fast. So the second watch, that's why, like, you liked it more the second time. I liked it less the second time, because I started to like find more. Anyway, Shivamani Velu Volu. I mean, in that universe, maybe she's not that powerful. Wanda broke her helmet, so her helmet exploded. I guess like Kung Fu Hustle. I don't know what the helmet actually does. Like, they never really explain it. Oh, we got some like really big supers. I gotta get through. Okay, where is it? Leroy O. It did feel like a TV episode, but enjoyable. I agree with you. It felt
I enjoyed it. I mean, even though Jaby's like ripping it apart right now, you enjoyed it too, didn't you?
I did enjoy a lot of scenes in it. I just wanted more from it. Anish Mondal. Where did the Iron Man Legion come from, if no superior Iron Man? Suchit S. Don't you think it was so easy for Wanda to kill all the Illuminatis who were so strong?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay. In the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, there's a scene where Brad Pitt goes up against Bruce Lee, and basically defeats him, right? And a lot of people were upset. They're like, there's no way he could defeat Bruce Lee. That's impossible. But the point of that scene was to show how dope this dude was. Not to put Bruce Lee down, but it's saying Bruce Lee is like the best, and this guy beat Bruce Lee. Mm-hmm. This sets up the fight later on in the movie where Brad Pitt, even while high out of his mind, is able to take out all of these people, right? And so I get how it looks. The point is that she's that powerful. It's also to excuse why there's no fight between Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch, I guess, because Doctor Strange couldn't. He says it straight up in the movie, like exposition to the audience. I couldn't fight her anyway. Like, it's almost like he might as well have winked at the camera like Wanda did when she took over 838's body.
Yeah.
So let's see, Xochitl. I read that already. Trent Stewart. I feel like it is comparable to. Can you check that, by the way? I feel like it is comparable to Thor: The Dark World. It's all right, but not something I'd want to watch a second time.
I don't think it's as bad as Thor: Dark World.
I would agree with you, Achara Kirk. I don't think it's as bad as Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
But thank you, Trent Stewart, for your generous super. Sundipan. Captain Marvel is not dead yet. How can a statue kill a person who destroyed Thanos' spaceship all by herself? Can't forget Spider-Man one-shot reference. What do you think is the reason for changing director from Scott to Sam? What would you rate the movie out of 10? First off, Sundipan, thank you so much for your generous super. Really, really appreciate that. I'll let you start, Syntell. What do you think out of 10?
I'd give it a 7.5.
That's what my brother said also, 7.5. And he felt very strong. He's like, I feel very strong about that 7.5, but I also feel very strong about that 2.5. So.
Yeah, I was going to say about like 7.5. Yeah, around there.
In this universe, I think I give it a 6. In another universe, I give it a
10. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to understand where I'm coming from, though. Go ahead, Syntell. You're going to say something.
Oh, no, I was going to say, you know what I think what really messed the multiverse of madness up is Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty set the tone when it came to multidimensional fun and romping around and the buddy, like the old Doc and Michael J. Fox's character. That whole thing of bouncing around and seeing weird things and anything is possible. So when we wanted to see that live action, and we just didn't get it. We had a small instance. We had like 2 minutes of them actually going through the portals and going through the different thing, and then we never ever saw that again. I know I wanted to see it like Doctor Strange and Wong, kind of like in the same sense of like Rick and Morty, and them trying to fight the big bad of who the Scarlet Witch is. Instead, we got something totally different. So it's just, I think Rick and Morty did it better. And you have fallen woefully short of a television cartoon show.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, there's what you just said reminds me of like what it emphasizes even more in my mind of what I wanted to see in this film. You remember at the end of Lethal Weapon 4 when Danny Glover and Mel Gibson go up against Jet Li? And it's like, these two old fogies really don't stand a chance against Jet Li. But somehow, impossibly, just through sheer freaking will, they fight Jet Li and manage to beat him. Just through sheer will. What this movie was setting up was a buddy relationship between Strange and Wong.
Yeah.
We needed a Riggs-Murtaugh relationship between these two where they're looking at Scarlet Witch at the end of the dock and going, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. And then they go and fight her. Like, that would have been dope. And then seeing them give everything they got and somehow impossibly manage to get through. It was also a little bit funny how America Chavez is like laying on the sacrifice table, right? And she's like, I can't do it. And Strange goes, yes, you can. And she goes, okay, I can. And then she goes and she's got the power all of a sudden to basically control her shit. I'm like,
all she needed was some self-belief, okay?
What changed in the last 5 seconds?
She believed in herself.
Yeah.
I'm like, all he did was say, you can. And she is like, cool, thanks, Obama. And went for it. Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You don't get the Obama reference? Okay, when Obama was running for president, the whole thing was, we can.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Anyway.
Wolfie Ames says, to be honest,
that wasn't racist, was it? I was just referencing his campaign.
Who said you're a racist?
No, every time Syntell gives me a sideways look, I'm like, did I say something low-key racist and not realize it?
I always give you a sideways look. Always, man. You know? All days that end in Y, I give you a sideways look.
Cristiano Ronaldo Overo. Am I in a multiverse where another variant of yours was wearing the same shirt yesterday, Jabs? Or are you playing lazy? I decided to wear this because it's my what if reference. That's why I decided to wear it again. So, Syntell, do you know about the reference?
Yeah, just your doppelgangers in there, right?
Yes, exactly.
Wearing
Okay.
a shirt like that, you know what it is?
Yeah.
Dina Karan. Dina Karan says, I wanted more Black Bolt in the Inhuman King.
King. Yeah. I mean,
He got canceled twice real quick.
Yeah. It's like, what are you going to do? He's going to talk and kill everyone? I don't know.
And our last super chat, Cristiano Ronaldo Oviedo. Do you think Tom Cruise shot his scenes, but Marvel later decided to cut his part? There was news that Marvel cut certain parts to keep upcoming stories in sync or something like that.
It's
entirely possible.
It is entirely possible, and that really could have happened because...
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Wolfie Ames says, to be honest, the holes you're picking out aren't holes at all. For example, the Sentinels creation, Reed Richards designed them, is what I'm getting. He's the greatest mind in that universe, not Iron Man.
I'm not mad about Reed Richards creating the Sentinels. It's that we had a whole movie called Age of Ultron, and the movie straight up says, you listen to Ultron. Like the robots refer to themselves as Ultron. And so you have an entire film where one of those guys was the baddest villain, that it took all of the Avengers assembling to take him down. And then here you have a scene with multiple Ultrons, and she's going through them like butter. Like the way that Ultron took out Thanos in What If, like with the quick cut.
Yeah.
That's how the Ultrons were being taken out here by Scarlet Witch. And I'm like, I know she's badass, but goddamn, like, let me see a fight. You know, everything happened kind of off camera, I guess to save money or something. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, it did kind of look like a cartoon. That part where she was like, what the hell? Where they're like, oh no, Wanda's here. And then you just see on the CCTV footage, I was kind of like, am I watching animation right now? This looks like a video game. What's going on? But okay.
I felt that too. Actually, it's so funny you said that. We never talked about that.
No, we didn't.
I felt like it felt like a video game too.
Yeah.
The CCTV footage.
Yeah.
Does anyone else think that Strange was kind of an asshole for telling Christina at her wedding, "Yo, we still a thing, right, boo? Like, I still think about you. You think about me?"
Definitely.
Oh, was that an asshole move?
Definitely asshole moment.
Like, it's her.
I mean, that's also
wedding.
She's moved on. Yeah, she's moved on. Like, what are you doing?
Doctor Strange
Leave it alone.
is a bit of an asshole, though. That's who he's always been.
But the movie is supposed to is trying to tell us that he's sweet in this film, though.
Oh, like by the end, you know, when he's all like, when America Chavez is like, what does she say to him? She goes like, "Sup," and then he's like, "Sup." And it's like, oh yeah, we're cool, you know.
What does that have to do with him being an asshole to Christina at her wedding? At her wedding, he's like, I still think about us all the time. She goes, well, that was never going to work out because you always got to be the one holding the knife.
Yeah.
Why are y'all talking about this at a wedding? That just kind of like
because
threw me a little bit.
Because it's like, you know, one last try. I just got to let it out.
She said I do.
Gone forever.
10 seconds ago, she said I do.
There, you can annul that.
She's like, yo, I'm crazy happy. I mean, I'm really happy. You need to go ahead and beat it. Hey, who's the dude that Doctor Strange was talking to in the pews? Was he in?
He was in the first Strange.
He was in the first one.
So in the first Doctor Strange, there was a doctor who pronounced this person dead, and Strange looked at the chart and said, "No, he's not. He's just got this bullet. I could take the bullet out with my hand." And so that doctor was basically kind of he's kind of a quack doctor because like he was going to pronounce someone dead that wasn't actually dead yet, and Strange managed to save his life. So that's who that guy is. He wasn't in the movie that long, but there was this whole scene where after Doctor Strange had his accident, and like the only person, it felt like a moment out of Friends. The only person who could save Doctor Strange was Doctor Strange because like his hands were all mangled, and the only doctor left to operate on him was that guy who lost his 2 cats. And Strange was like, he's going to fuck this up. No, you can't let him touch me. I'm going to go to Carnage and find another solution because that doctor's a bad doctor.
Bad doctor. Yeah.
So I'm looking through my plot right now that, where are we? Strange's magic.
We haven't talked about Wanda yet.
Okay, go ahead.
Just like her whole arc in the movie, because I like after watching the movie the second time, we all had the consensus that, you know, this really felt like Wanda's movie, and like she was really good. I thought she was really good, and I definitely connected with her emotionally even more the second time round. Although Jaby had to forcefully remind me, she murdered a bunch of people.
A lot of people.
And I'm like,
a lot of people.
I know, but like
she's a lot of people.
She's just a mom who's trying to get back to her kids, even though they're not really her kids, like, I understand where she's coming from. Like, yes, I get it. She did a lot of really bad things. But I thought that Elizabeth Olsen did a really, really great job with the...
I was slightly confused with the line when she's at the Camartage where she goes, I'm not a monster, I'm a mom. And I felt like the movie was low-key making a burn against moms. Like... well,
I'm sure, yeah, sometimes moms are monsters.
Great line when she talked about... She also had that line when she talked about magic happens and life is created. And she was like, that's just what...
Yeah,
isn't
that what moms? Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Really
Women have the power of creation.
I think it should have been called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Karens, but that's just me. So,
why Karens?
Because she's straight up a Karen. She's like, fuck everybody. Everyone dies. I just want my kids.
He is definitely a Karen.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Wanda is the Karen of all Karens, actually.
Yeah.
Anish Mandal. Your drip is on point, though, Jaby. What does that mean? Your drip is on point.
I don't know.
Drip.
I think it was relating to something you were talking about a while ago. So.
You got some chains. You got some.
Okay.
Some rings.
Well, thank you, Adam from Fan Pops. Thank you so much for your very generous super, Adam. Really appreciate it, dude.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I have some chatter online comparing Multiverse of Madness. Interesting that Multiverse of Madness initials is mom. By the way, it's so interesting to me. Comparing Multiverse of Madness to Everything Everywhere, saying that EO was a better multiverse film.
Everything Everywhere All at Once
was a better multiverse film than Multiverse of Madness. Jamie Lee Curtis has even weighed in. I haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once yet, but what are your thoughts? I actually agree.
Wholeheartedly agree. Everything Everywhere All at Once. That was actually the first conversation we had after we finished watching Multiverse of Madness. We went with Johnny Rome and Courtney Wright, and Johnny Rome was like, well, actually, we all were like, because we'd all seen that movie, we're like, yeah, Everything Everywhere
All at Once, yeah.
Or All at Once killed it, like nailed it with the multiverse.
It had better multiverse. It had better fight scenes. It had better acting, like
emotional connection.
The jokes were funny. Like I thought that, emotional connection. Like I felt all the things I needed to feel in a movie in Everything Everywhere All at Once. It actually, in a lot of ways, I hate to say it, in a lot of ways, it destroys Multiverse of Madness.
And
completely obliterates it.
And you know what the funny thing is? The funny thing is that, like, the special effects or whatever, the VFX, was done by a 5-person team. That's what you can do with, like, probably, definitely a smaller budget and a 5-person team. Can you imagine that?
Hold up. Blazing Aces says, only way the movie is good is in some other universe. That's a burn against the movie. Jesus. So Adam from Fan Pops, I agree with you 100%. I think to what you're saying, I think Everywhere All at Once was a much better film all around.
Yeah, you should definitely watch it.
I have my grievances with Everything Everywhere All at Once. There are things I didn't care for in the film, but I think that all around it was definitely the superior film, for a multitude of reasons, for a multiverse of reasons. Rajat Goyal. My friends sees this movie as continuation of WandaVision Season 2, not as Doctor Strange's movie, basically less development of Doctor Strange character. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's very true. Nishta Patel. Go ahead, man. What were you going to say? Trey?
No, I was saying I'm agreeing with that. I was like, yeah.
Nishta Patel. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once was more like Multiverse of Madness. I think it was a better Multiverse of Madness. And what that film does that I wanted out of this was like a crazy amount of overlap between the variants and integrating that somehow into like the martial arts and the fight scenes. And like it took the multiverse concept and used it as a means of what I was talking about earlier, where you have like the Highlander effect, where you're taking stuff from other dimensions, other universes, and using it to infuse even more power into yourself.
Yeah.
Like Neo going through the construct and learning all these like different things, all the training. Yeah. Like that's what this movie needed to do for me personally. And that's why it's like a big disappointment, because I didn't get what I wanted out of this film at all. Sernaj Nair. Loki series sets up multiple timelines in the same universe. It doesn't set up multiverse. And yes, this movie was very underwhelming.
I guess so.
Is there a difference? I guess there's a difference.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just timelines, right? Yeah. It's like every time you make a different choice, you get a split in a timeline. Yeah, fair point.
Anish Mandal. Is it really possible they shot a scene with Tom Cruise and didn't include it? He's Tom freaking Cruise. It's possible only if he's going to appear in the future. I think it's entirely possible they shot a scene with Tom Cruise and just took it out. I think it's entirely possible. They're just not sure. Like, the thing about it is they're making a lot of these decisions as they go. They're trying to. I think they have a roadmap, but a lot of like the really fine details get decided along the way because they're not really sure what's coming next. Sometimes.
Yeah.
They're also like depending on that feedback from the internet. Like, I that's why I think that Reed Richards was added like way last minute. They're like, okay, internet's blowing up about this Reed Richards being, played by John Krasinski. We're doing that. I feel like that got decided way late in the game. And so,
yeah, I feel you on that. There's and then you said something that's really important too, and that is like the ownership landscape is very volatile. Like what's going on with the rights of Fox,
right?
What's going on with the rights of Sony. It's really up and down. Things change all the time. So it would be a very big risk to, let's just say, put like the X-Men in there, and then all of a sudden you don't get the rights to do it at a certain time, and it just messes up the flow. So you have to eliminate things completely. I think that was a very big factor.
Yogi YJ should have created small Hex to live happily with kids.
Yeah, why couldn't she just create the kids in her little apple orchard and then, just have them be little kids forever?
Because then there'd be no movie.
Yeah,
I mean, that's...
Well, and then they wouldn't be real.
Yeah.
She needs the real experience. She's already, lived that fake world. So now she wants the real thing, and she's willing to steal it from herself.
So, just get a sperm donor. Meh.
Yeah. Where the fuck was White Vision?
She already banged a robot.
Where's Vision? Like, where is he?
Where? In all the universes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've watched the movie twice.
Getting away from his Karen. He's like, I'm free.
Yeah. I've watched the movie twice, and I'm like, I can't find a justifiable reason for him not to be in this movie. Like,
and she's a single mom in every single universe, it seems. Like,
pretty consistent.
She could just have a husband. She could have another random husband, or where did the kids? Or has she always just fabricated the kids out of thin air? Is that kind of the idea?
But what's the name of the villain in Amazing Spider-Man 2? Not Amazing Spider-Man 2. Is it Far From Home? It's Far From Home. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Dreamo? What's the villain's name?
Mysterio.
Mysterio.
Yeah. Okay, so I know that you didn't like that one, Spider-Man Far From Home,
I did not.
so much. I know that a lot of people actually had issues with that film. The thing I appreciate about the Spider-Man series, though, is that it kind of feels like you have these one-off villains for films. Like, it's an adventure by itself, and it's like, while there is a tie-in to the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe, there are these individual villains in each installment, right? Or at least those first two.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like Doctor Strange really should have gotten his own thing here that has nothing to do with Wanda.
Any other connections.
Like, it should have been just his own movie. That's what I wanted, was just like a Doctor Strange 2 adventure on its own, But
and you had the universal code to do whatever you want with multiverses. That's the Rick and Morty thing. Like, you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
You could have killed off 1,000 different versions of himself, and we would have bought into it. Like, the sky is the limit, and they limited themselves.
Yeah. Shivani Velu Volu. I don't understand why people like the sequels more, but I like Spider-Man 1 and A New Hope more than their sequels. That's fair.
I like Spider-Man 1 a lot.
That's fair. Dario Sundar. Achara likes Empire more than A New Hope, by the way. Dario Sundar. Love you guys. Sorry can't stay. Watch the film yet. Haven't watched the film yet. Can't comment. I'll be going tomorrow. Hello there, Syntell.
Aww.
Well, she's probably bounced already, but hello. Right back
What's
at you.
cracking, baby?
Cristiano Ronaldo Aveiro. As this discussion is going further, I am not liking the movie further for some reason. I'm not going to go back to it ever again. Giving us such cameos and then killing them like that, barely an inconvenience, nah.
Well, this is what I was trying to like kind of rein you back a little bit, because you're really just going in hard on all the reasons why you didn't like it. It just makes it sound like you didn't enjoy it at all. I mean, maybe you didn't. I'm still going to stand by the fact that I had a lot of fun. This was a fun movie.
Yeah.
And like, even though the Illuminati died really quickly, and I was kind of like, oh, I think this might be Ryan George's barely an inconvenience moment.
Yeah.
It was still just kind of like really fun in the first watch when I was surprised by it all. It was like, oh shit, I can't believe they just did that.
Yeah.
You know?
So, to address what Achara's saying of me, like, ripping the movie apart, I'm just going to say what I said to my last girlfriend, who asked me why I keep dissecting her and taking her apart. I said to her, it just means I love you, boo. That's why I'm taking you down.
Dude,
bit by bit.
That sounds so wrong.
I'm just messing around. I never actually said that. I just did it. Satyakam Shashwat. I disagree.
I'm trying not to snort the water out my nose.
Satyakam Shashwat. I disagree. I feel like they made the action scene super small to show Wanda super strong, scary, and thus more focused on jump scares. I basically said that, though.
I enjoyed the jump scares, though.
That. No, I said that they made it where she just went through these people like butter to show that she's that strong. But I know why they did it. I'm not happy about it. Like I can explain to you why they did it. So we have some more supers I gotta acknowledge real quick. James D. I felt like watching What If kind of spoiled some of the concepts in this movie for me. I agree. Thank you for your generous super, by the way. James D. I agree with you. I agree. No, none.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
I agree with you, James D. What If? I thought the Doctor Strange What If stuff was way better. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. It's like one of those things where in a TV show that's an animation, you can maybe take it a lot further than you can with live action when there's like so much money involved and expectations and blah blah blah. Whereas, you know, a little show like What If on Disney Plus, you can just be like, well, what are we gonna? Yeah, let's just, you know, completely just go banana town on this episode and see what happens. And yeah.
Okay, so Syntell, and to the audience, I have the same question. What did you think the secret was that the Illumawati was holding out on Doctor Strange when they teased it in the trailer? Because in the trailer, you know, Professor X goes, maybe we should tell him the truth.
They told him the truth, though.
I know. What did you think the truth was going to be before you got to the theater?
Oh.
That's what I want to know from the audience, from Syntell, from you, Achara.
Okay, gotcha,
what did you think the truth was going to be? I'll give you guys a second to think about that.
No, I thought that it was going to be something about like, oh, there's an Illuminati in every universe or something like that. Or like, we are the guardians of the multiverses. Something like that.
Okay,
I thought it was going to be multiverse related.
The only thing I can think of off the top of my head when I very first saw the first thing, it's like, for me, I had the whole Sixth Sense thing. I'm like, he's already dead or something like that. You know, like one of them kind of things. Like this version of him doesn't really exist. And that there's a whole other thing. I thought they were going to go deep into the multiverse. And like I told you, I'm thinking Rick and Morty. Like, we're going deep into some really off stuff. And I was like, okay, well, maybe they'll kill him off, and then we don't really see him. And then there's this other version of him that's really there. And then 6 other universes down the way, they got to find. That's where my head was going.
Yeah, you weren't that far off. You weren't that far off in terms of the beginning of that. The very beginning of that. Like, because the Doctor Strange in the 838 area code was dead.
All right, so here's some from the chats. And I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Achara Kirk says, I thought it was about mutants or something.
Yeah. Okay. That's actually, see, Greg had a whole video what he thought what we thought it was, and I was actually inclined to agree. So House of M talks about how Scarlet Witch, like in the comics, there's only one Scarlet Witch, right? Like there's not, she's not in like other universes, just the one. Kind of like how they did America Chavez. Mm-hmm. And so the secret that Greg had thought or theorized was that in Doctor Strange's universe in the 626, or was it 616?
Yeah,
I forgot what it is. But anyway, he had theorized that Scarlet Witch had already destroyed the mutants, and that's why they're not there. Like all the X-Men and all that stuff. That was the secret he thought they were going to reveal there. And so...
Yeah. So Hazir Ali M says, I thought the secret was going to be about Wanda not being the actual villain and that there's another bigger thing. I'm trying to see if there's anything else.
Well, I was the only one that was disappointed that we didn't get some Kang. I thought we was going to get a little bit of Kang.
I wasn't surprised because we know that Kang is coming in the multiverse of Ant-Man. So, Anish Mandal. Wanda enslaved an entire town in grief for Vision. Now she doesn't even give a shit about him. No mention, no search, nothing. That escalated first. Is it at all possible? Is it at all possible that any mention of... This might be a wild speculation, but I'm just going to put it out there, and you guys tell me if this is stupid, and I will take it.
Okay.
Is it at all possible that because of the whole Johnny Depp thing, any mention of Vision was removed from this movie? Because he's friends with Johnny Depp?
What?
He's friends with Johnny Depp,
no,
isn't he?
I know that. I know that.
that.
Yeah, no, I know that there was like evidence of the text messages.
Like their exchange was pretty...
Yes.
I don't want to make this about Johnny Depp, by the way. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm just saying, like, is it possible that that's why he was removed, just to let that blow over? Like, he didn't actually do anything bad, but the fact that he's, like, tied to the case maybe is, like, reflecting bad. And so Disney was quickly like, oh, let's just take him out. Any mention of him?
You
doubt that? Okay.
My thought is I doubt that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I thought that. I'm
asking.
I'm just asking a question. That's all. So you don't think so either, Trey, Syntell?
That's news to me. I didn't even know that there was an attachment to that. So yeah, that's news to me. But I can absolutely see Disney, better to cut it out now and then not have to deal with it.
Well,
at all.
you saw what happened with
I can see that.
You saw what happened with the woman from Mandalorian when she had their tweet comparing the government protocols for dealing with the vid and all that stuff, the vaccination and all that. She was comparing that to Nazi occupied France or something like that. I forget exactly what her tweet was, but because of that tweet, she was let go. Right now, what's his name? Didn't actually say anything bad.
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany didn't actually say anything bad, but he's tied to the case, and so maybe Disney's just like walking it carefully, and that's why he's not even. You don't even see him in this movie. Like, it's just weird. It's just a weird move. Like, why wouldn't you see him at all? There was a whole show called WandaVision, and it's all about her grief about Vision. And you don't even show him, like, even in a flashback or anything. Like, nothing. Well, and he's not even in the other dimensions.
Safe than sorry.
What?
Better safe than sorry. I mean, better safe than sorry. I think you might be onto something, because especially with the fact that they had an entire show based on their relationship.
Yeah.
And for there to be zero reference.
Yeah.
That's very telling. I might be onto something with that.
Chara's life. Shoddy writing, right? One of the most eloquent actors and MCU characters, and he was saying things like, oh crap, and the other me. Seems the overemphasis on horror took away from the writing. Oh crap and other me, the other me, it's fine. It's the Illuma-Wadi thing that bugs me. The Illuma, and some of Wong's overacting bugged me. And I don't think that's Wong's fault. I think that's just the direction.
Yeah, talking about the writing, what about America Chavez, though? We haven't really talked about her, and it feels like...
That's telling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's telling, right? Because this movie is basically her introduction to the MCU, and I was just kind of like, I don't really feel that much of a connection to this child, this teenager who's just along for the ride. I don't feel strongly about her in any way. I'm just like, oh, okay.
If they killed her off... They
didn't even...
All I was going to say is if they killed her off, I wouldn't have felt anything.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's no emotional connection. It was kind of rushed and forced. They even forced our relationship with her moms. But here's the thing, like, she has what could be a cool power.
Yeah.
But you don't actually see her do anything cool with it.
Okay.
And then she's more of like a tag-along than anything else. So there's no emotional connection. She doesn't do anything cool, and she's just kind of there for the ride.
Yeah. At the very beginning of the movie, when Defender Strange says, Defender Strange is about to kill her, and she goes, I thought we're friends. How come that never came up again in the rest of the movie? Her flashbacks of like this friendship that she had with Defender Strange, her giving Strange the side eye, being like, are you going to do me? Because I trusted that guy and I loved him. He was my friend.
There was that, though.
It's not really. It didn't really come up. So much was going on in this movie. That's like, I thought we would have seen a little bit more of like, if this was really a friendship to the point where she was shocked, just shocked at the fact that Defender Strange would kill her. Like, wouldn't we see a little bit more of that? It didn't come back until the end of the movie when she's like, "You're gonna kill me now, huh? It's cool. I get it. Let's do this. I'm ready. Take me to Greenland. I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I thought that it set up something at the beginning that I feel like we should have gotten more of in the film. This really felt like they did to what the editors or what Marvel did to this is what Disney did to Episode 9. It's of Star Wars. It just was like rushed.
Right.
2 hours and 6 minutes. It needed to breathe. We needed more scenes of reflection, I think. Like, they cheapened it out and they're like, oh, stand on the memory box or on the memory button. It was like, it's...
Well, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I was saying about the moms. I'm like, they rushed us through that. They rushed us to the moms. And I'm like, well, okay, this thing happened and I'm indifferent because I didn't even get a chance to... do we even hear him speak? Like, there was...
They speak a little bit.
I don't remember hardly anything about that. That's a poignant moment, getting her backstory, and it just went like,
Yeah.
So.
Well, what they were showing, if I'm not mistaken, they were showing the scene when Christine gave Strange the watch, right?
Yeah.
And they were showing like the beginning of something for each of them, like a crucial moment for each of them, right? But it just felt very ham-fisted. It's like, so there's just this store where you can step on a button and the fucking world can see your memories, by the way. Like, everyone can see what's inside your head.
That could be really dangerous.
What if when you stepped on it, you were like, it was the first time you were masturbating and your mom walked in the room, like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind? Like, what if that was your first memory that pops up on the screen? That store's getting shut down fast because that's a PR disaster. Like, why would you have that where everyone can see what you are thinking about? That's just retarded, beyond retarded to me. But anyway, I'm sorry for using the R word for those of you who get offended by that. But anyway, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it was just very, very, very convenient. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Stupid convenient. Like, I feel like it could have been a little bit more nuanced.
Yeah, I mean, the movie wasn't really nuanced, was it though? It wasn't about that.
There could have easily been, I don't know. The movie needed more moments of contemplation.
Yeah. It
just needed that. It needed to slow down and allow us to just have moments that were a little bit more quiet. It didn't need to be loud from start to finish. Like, it just, I don't know. Anyway. Ram Sefu, what do you think about the theater experience? Was it better than RRR or KGF Chapter 2? Only because it wasn't blowing out my eardrums. It was a better theatrical experience.
And also, you got to understand, Ram Setu, like, we watched those two movies in pretty, like, quiet theaters. There was hardly anyone else there when we watched them. So it wasn't the same experience as watching it in a packed out theater full of Marvel fans who were literally like yelling and screaming when, all the cameos happened. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it was a different experience for us.
Shivamani Velu Volu. Adoption is a thing. Go get a kid. I don't know what that's in reference
to.
Like,
I was earlier when I was talking about, like, she could just get a sperm donor or something, like if she's so upset about not having kids, or she could adopt.
That being said, though, I really bought into her justification for wanting to take Chavez's powers, because, like, it could have been that Chavez just, like, warps her to a dimension or something where she can be with her kids, and she's like, hell no, I'm going to keep this shit. If my kids get sick and there's no medicine in this dimension, I can go to another one to get the medicine.
Yeah.
I thought that was the best line in the entire film for
Mom
her, because
logic.
it's like, it was the most logical thing. I was like, yo, like, I don't like you, but damn, I can't argue with that. That's some, like, if I can take someone's power so I can always protect my kids.
Yeah.
I get it, Anyway.
Yeah.
You murder somebody to always protect would you murder somebody innocent to always protect your kids?
Absolutely. That, or I'm going to do one of Wanda's things and, like, keep her under my control and, like, I adopt you now. You're mine.
You're my baby now. Yeah.
Sundipan. The most frustrating or negative part is even when the movie runs for just 2 hours, it feels like a 4-hour movie. I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I agree with that. I do think that
for me.
Yeah, I don't think the movie slows down at certain parts absurdly. Like, we didn't even talk about it. This is something I really want to talk about. So when they were trying to run to get the book of Vivushivam, what's the name of the book? Vishanti, right? They're running through
Shanti. Oh baby.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
They're running in the underground of the Illumawadi's headquarters, right?
Yeah.
And Scarlet Witch is hot on their tail. There was a lot of moments where these characters were stopping. I'm like, yo, baddest bitch in the land is after you. This woman's threatening the multi-universe, and you're just stopping and having a chat. Like, yo, Christina, can you take off my handcuffs? So, like, and can we go looking for this book? She's like, I don't know about that. I'm like, yo, you saw what this woman is capable of. She took up Professor X, and y'all are having a chat right now about whether or not to go after the book that's going to help stop this woman. So finally they decide to go, and they're running, shutting down the doors, and then they get her to stop for a second, and they all look.
I know, that bit was weird.
And they're just waiting. And I'm like, okay.
It's because it's 80s horror. It's 80s horror. That's why.
Is that why? Because but it got me though, because the first time I watched it, this is me at the movie theater, okay? I'm watching it, and I'm like, when I watch horror, I get really scared. I get really into it, and I'm like really like just wound up. And I was just like, what are you doing? Get going. Yeah. Just move, people. Yeah. And they're just standing there, and I'm like freaking out.
But you needed to justify it. Like, it's not like they didn't have another room to go to. Like, they could have kept going. And the fact that they didn't try was weird to me. So hold on.
Yeah.
I know why they didn't. Doctor Strange had a plan. He's like, I know what to do. He was doing Sherlock Holmes, right? He's like, I know what to do when she comes in the room. They don't know that, though. Why weren't they, like, pulling on his cape? Like, yo, we gotta go. And Strange could have easily been like, hold on a second. I'm thinking. Like, hold on. And because he brings the water down on her, right? Like Moses in the Red Sea. Like, he brings the water on her, and to buy some time.
Yeah.
Say something. Be like, hold on. 2 words. You can afford 2 words. I know it's 2 hours and 6 minutes, but goddamn, like, you can afford 2 fucking words. Hold on. That's it. So that, like, we know Strange is thinking about something. She brings the water down. They manage to get in the room using the watch into, like, the path of Vivushu, right? Vishanti. And there's, like, the book there.
Yeah.
So they go... It's a little bit weird that door opened right up to it, because Defender and America Chavez had to run this long-ass path to get to it. But, like, Doctor Strange in 838 managed to have a door that goes right to it,
It's a waypoint, yeah.
And so... they go down onto the platform, and Doctor Strange is like waddling like a fucking penguin up to the book. I'm like, yo, she's right there. Come on. Like,
and then the second time I watched it as well, I was just like, oh my God, he's really slow at like grabbing the book. Grab the book, open the book, start the bloody spell. Like, what are you doing? What is this build up? Stop.
And Strange, for whatever reason, like landed.
Just close the door behind him.
I know, right? Well, maybe they would have been stuck there. But isn't it weird how, like, when he lands like 12 feet from the book. Like, land on the book, like Spider-Man. Like, just land on top of it, and then move, fly away, reading the book as fast as you can. I don't know. Like, it just felt like it was kind of dumb. It was very, very, very convenient. And then yes, so I'm gonna read some more supers here. Ramsethu. What do you think about the theater-going experience? Was it? Oh, I read that already. Sorry. A lot of supers now. Cam K. CM's power were muted when she got crushed.
Oh, is that what happened?
I don't think that's how it works, but all right, I'll do. Cristiano Ronaldo Overo. Rick and Morty played with Multiverse to such a banana town extent, still kept it so simple. Marvel made it boiled veggies, but logic's given. Okay, hold on. Read that again. Marvel made it like boiled veggies, but logics given behind it were like Jaby's understanding of most of the memes. Confused face. All right, that's fair enough. Nice burn. Vimal Prabhakar. Why does Strange look like zombie in the end?
Because he'd been decomposing for a while. So basically, he was a zombie.
But for how long, though? I had that question, too, when I got at the theater. I'm like, how much time had passed? I'm like, because that's like a few days worth of decomposing, maybe even longer than that. Like, it felt like that just happened like a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I guess...
Was it a reach? Was that a reach from...
No, I guess we just have to assume that it's certain amounts of time had passed. That's the thing. Like, the movie moves so quickly that it makes it seem like, well, that was like max 6 hours ago, right? Like...
Not as long as Mordo had stayed inside that little pit.
You're so mad that Mordo didn't join the fight,
I just don't get why he couldn't jump out.
You know what? Maybe
he's Sorcerer Supreme. Why can't he?
A villain.
What happened? Say again.
I think he turned into a villain. I think what's kind of strange egged him on to the point where he was like, okay, I'm going into murder mode. So he's like, F them all, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll stay in the pit where it's safe.
Yeah. Old Mom J says something very interesting. She says, losing your kids is the worst experience in life. I wish that they showed the Darkhold convincing her that it was a good idea to take another Wanda's kids. We needed a big bad guy to connect Darkhold. I agree with that.
Yeah.
100%. We needed that scene. Or that show. Or that needed to be in WandaVision and not so much showing, Malcolm in the middle. Like, we needed to see that process take place in order to support this film. Like,
yeah, that actually would have been a really strong scene to kind of get that, like, yeah, come on, like, you can do this. I can help you, blah, blah, blah.
That would have been, maybe it would have been too much like Shang-Chi. Because that's exactly what happened in Shang-Chi.
I guess.
But we needed that.
But we enjoyed that in Shang-Chi, though. We're like, okay, we get it. Like, we still get it that Wanda just wants her kids back. But yeah, that could have been a good. I don't understand why they had to make this movie 2 hours when they allowed all the other Marvel movies to be like way longer.
I don't know. I'll come back to that. But okay, so my mind's going in 2 different directions because there's more super chats, but I want to talk about like the Camartage scene. How do you say it? Camartage?
Camartage.
Camartage. Okay, so at the Camartage.
It's just Camartage.
Hold on, I lost my train of thought. Oh, there's this Asian dude who's a sorcerer who's always got his hands like this.
Oh yeah, with the librarian,
with the Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
Right. Like, what the fuck? What was he in this movie? Because they emphasize him so much.
Yeah.
He's like the most featured extra in this movie, and he's useless.
He just disappears.
He's just in the room.
I know.
All the time,
like,
right?
Wait, you were supposed to guard America Chavez.
Yeah.
And then
they get yanked.
Wanda just goes.
They get yanked into the water, right? Because she's using the water to access that room.
Yeah.
And they go, quick, cover the water, cover the reflections. And I'm like, what's that gonna do? She could just yank the cloth, guys. She could yank people, but she can't yank a cloth down.
No, I think she needs the reflections to be reflecting in order to be able to use it as a surface.
You know that light is still reflecting unless you cover it completely black, right?
Well, maybe. Okay, whatever.
Well,
I don't get
it. What was the name of the Japanese horror movie there when she was
The Ring?
The Ring.
The Ring.
Yeah.
I wanted like I thought Raimi was gonna do that, like full blown, like extra control. She did it a little bit. With her coming out of the thing, but I thought, I was like, oh, please kind of do that. Please kind of do that.
I wanted that too. When I saw her coming out, I was like, oh yes. Like I did wish that they had used like a proper contortionist in the costume to kind of come out all backwards, kind of like The Ring or like the 1970s Exorcist style when she's like walking down the stairs like that. I'm like, that's what I wanted, just like if you just go full horror.
Michael Anderson says Illuminati t-shirt. I love that idea. And then James Pogney, and these are from the regular chats. James Pogney says time can work differently in universes probably.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what the time dilation is. So
the reason why the body looked that decomposed in the movie isn't because of the different like universe time jumps and stuff like that. It was because Sam Raimi wanted it to look like a zombie. It's that simple. He just wanted it to look like that. He wanted it to have this B-movie horror sort of vibe, like Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
That's all he was trying to do, was bring that vibe to it. Vimal Prabhakar. Oh, I read that already. Sorry. Tushalista. T. Wanda 1000. She was so scary. What does that mean?
T2000.
Oh, T2000.
Yeah.
T. Wanda 1000. That's
no, but
funny.
you made that reference too last night after we watched the movie. You were like, was that you or someone else?
Both me and
Andrew, right?
Andrew made that reference.
Yeah.
Because like he made the reference.
The horror movie walk.
Well, he said that it reminded him of Terminator for some reason. I forgot what his specific reference was. But for me, when Wanda is at Camartage and this guy's like crawling on the ground like, oh God, no, please no.
Oh, yeah.
And then she just bakes him like a fucking pig. Just totally roasts him, right?
Yeah.
She might as well have had a Spitfire going. So what's it called? It's called the Spitfire, right? Where you have them on a spit roast. She might have had a spit roast. Yeah, like she just bakes him, right?
Magician.
When the camera was dulling across the burnt corpse, to me it just looked like Terminator 2. Like it reminded me so much of James Cameron Terminator 2, like cause the way that body looked for some odd reason. I don't know why. I think it's because of the nuclear war visions that Sarah Connor has. That's what it reminded me of. But he was saying Terminator because it's like, Doctor Strange is kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger protecting John Connor.
Right.
That's what it was. And then Scarlet Witch is like T-1000. That's what his reference was. So Pikachu. He made a super that he retracted. Thank you anyway for your super. Anish Mandal. The only positive was the mention of incursion and possible lead up to Secret Wars. Also, strange Christine chemistry. 5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, Secret Wars got me excited.
Yeah, no, that's cool for sure. I'm just thinking about the Strange and Christine chemistry. Yeah, maybe you're right. Like, I've never really felt like, even in the first movie, I was like, they're probably better off as friends.
What's the name of the white alien guy that Goku has to fight in Dragon Ball Z? The short one who becomes bigger.
Frieza.
Oh. Yeah, Frieza.
Frieza, yeah.
Okay, because Nolan Mathor, he says Marvel logic. Wanda is as strong as Goku. I wanted like a Dragon Ball-esque fight, like Goku versus Frieza or Goku versus Vegeta, like where you're just seeing decimation happening, and it could have easily been in a mirror dimension because Strange does that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I don't know.
And then you've got all the coolness of the mirror dimension, like which is what you wanted.
Yeah, I wanted more spectacle. I just wanted more spectacle in this movie, yo. Like. That was the thing that Doctor Strange had that like was so amazing, is just the visual spectacle of it all. And this movie did not have that visual spectacle, but for the crossing through the different dimension scene. And I think that for me, I had to force myself to pay attention to that sequence like the second time, because like you mentioned it, you're like, well, they have that sequence. That's when they're going through the different dimensions. That's why they get to call it Multiverse of Madness, right? And I watched it the second time and I'm going, I'm having to force myself to enjoy this sequence for some reason. Whereas the first Doctor Strange, it was just like fucking mind-blowing when he's like, it's just everything's being distorted. He's flown out of Earth and he sees the butterfly. He tries to grab it. He's pulled back into Earth and he's like, teach me. Like that whole scene was way better than this sequence of him going through the different dimensions and becoming paint and whatnot. Like, I just thought that the sequences in Doctor Strange 1 were far superior, and it just completely obliterates this one, in my opinion. Like, it goes so much further. Visually and character-wise, I think it goes way further. But that's just me. What about you guys?
No, I mean, yeah, I think it's a very different movie. It's almost like comparing apples and oranges to me, because the first one was, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was something that was just so visually stunning that we hadn't seen before. It was an introduction of a new character and like the introduction of magic into the MCU and everything.
Yeah. So what's your argument boils down to it was new, right? I don't think that's all it is, though. I think that it goes well beyond the scope of it just being new. I think that it just did so much more. Like, if we go watch Doctor Strange right now, seasoned, right? Because we've watched it a few times. I think it'll still be way more enjoyable.
It'll still be super cool.
Yeah. I think it'll be more enjoyable than Multiverse of Madness still.
But I think maybe given time, if people just revisit this movie and just kind of go, this is like a fun, campy MCU movie.
Yeah.
Then you could have a lot of fun with it.
Okay, so before I go back to the supers, I'm going to go back to the supers in a hot second here. I will say that I loved that Sam Raimi brought his own style and flair to this, because it really made it stand apart from most other MCU films in terms of like the approach, because visually, even music-wise, it felt quite different from a lot of what we get from Marvel. And I do appreciate that level of creativity that Sam Raimi brought to it, and as well as Alan Silvestri. Is Alan Silvestri right? No, not Alan Silvestri. What's his name?
It was Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman. Like I like what Sam Raimi and Danny Elfman brought to this movie.
What about you, Syntell?
I think Marvel is still going to try and stick to telling the superhero story through different narratives, be it the horror, or be it through dealing with clinical depression, or dealing with injustices in America. They're going to try and find a way to just not make it about capes and powers. So I think they purposely went away from it being like the visual spectacle, because why would you get Sam Raimi for that level of visual spectacle? Like he could still do visual effects really well, but for the level that we all wanted to see it on, they could have gone that way. But I think that they don't want to be pigeonholed into that type of storytelling. They wanted to do something different.
Mohit Vats.
Raimi's version.
Mohit Vats says, IMAX 3D fun, madness, yes. I had woo clapped, shouts moments, but story was not engaging. It felt long after 45 minutes, not for below 12. I don't know what that last part means.
Yeah, definitely.
Not for kids under 12?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we said in our first thoughts about the movie, because I think a lot of people probably want to bring their kids to Marvel movies. And a lot of the time, it's totally appropriate for the most part. But this one definitely, like, yeah, you might be giving your young kids nightmares if you're bringing them to this show.
Yeah, I think DC's kind of like set the tone that I think Marvel wants a bit of that DC dark kind of magic. And they're just stuck in the bubblegum sphere. And this is a good opportunity for them to kind of like break out of that. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to catch up on these supers now. So, Cristiano Ronaldo Overo. Wanda is basically a Karen cause inconvenience to everyone because they have unfair demands.
She's like, I just want my kids, and I am willing to destroy some multiverses along the way.
Hazir Ali M. WRT editing.
Worst editing.
Worst editing. Isn't this movie the new 2017 Justice League? I would definitely love to see. Definitely love to see a director's cut of the film to compare. But I wouldn't say it's as bad as that. Mohit Vats. One background score with Wanda was trance. I loved it.
That was cool. I liked that kind of the incorporation of the electric guitar sounds, that kind of rock sound that they had in the score. I thought was like really different.
Count Drago, $230 million one day favorited Marvel movie. I don't think this is the measure of the film. I think the measure of the film is next weekend's box office to see if it drops off or continues to climb.
Right.
Because the first day sales or the first weekend sales is all pre-sales. Like, people have been waiting they bought these tickets like a while ago, right? So it's important to see what happens in the coming weekends. Mohit Vats, you missed my 2 super chats as Wanda said not fair.
Oh no, it just took us a while to get to the Mohit.
Crazy Mantri. Hello, I got a question. When there is no time stone, why Strange still has Eye of Agamotto? Also, it does belong to the Sorcerer. Also, it belongs to the Sorcerer Supreme, right? So he doesn't have the Eye of Agamotto anymore. Right?
No, he has the Eye of Agamotto. He just doesn't have the time stone.
Time stone.
But I guess it still has some magical properties because he was trying to use it to open up the door.
Well, really, I mean, he's right, though. It should go to Wong.
Yeah.
Because Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme. Or I guess it doesn't actually belong to the Sorcerer Supreme. There's no law in the Doctor Strange films that says that.
Didn't he have it when the Ancient One was still Sorcerer Supreme?
Yes.
It was gifted to him.
No,
so
he took it.
He
just took it straight up.
I mean, that's the sheer arrogance of Doctor Strange, isn't it? And also the fact that he wouldn't bow to Wong like for almost the entire movie. Like, nah.
Yeah. So anyway, Vishal Agnihotri. So would you say again?
Oh, nothing. I was agreeing with Achara. I was like, he was just like, no, I'm not bowing to you, man. I know you. We got drunk together. I'm not bowing to you.
Yeah.
Vishal Agnihotri. Genuine question. Is it really necessary to do a spoiler talk about a film that released just a couple days ago? Wouldn't it be a more fruitful discussion if more of us have actually watched it? Vishal Agnihotri, I would suggest that you don't participate in this live stream then. Because a lot of people here have watched the film and are eager to talk about it.
Well, I would hope that everyone here has watched the film, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Man, it came out Thursday. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, exactly.
Is there anything that we haven't gotten to yet that you guys would like us to talk about in the chats or Syntell? Go ahead.
I had a question regarding when Wong is all tied up and Wanda's doing her dream walking and one of his I guess students comes up and decides to sacrifice themselves on the book. Like how'd you feel about that?
Okay,
I was just curious.
I have some thoughts.
It seems a little just random.
It's okay. So this is my thought about it, right? Because I feel like maybe this was connected to some stuff that was cut because the way that they showed her, so she's credited as being Sarah or Sarah, however you want to pronounce that. I had the sense that they had a relationship, like that they were romantically involved because of how tenderly she touched his face. And then and so she sacrifices herself because she knows that he's the Sorcerer Supreme and they need him. And so she sacrifices herself in order to destroy the book. And then if you see the close-up at the end, she has a tear running down her face. And so I think, there must have been some stuff in the cut in what they like cut on and left on the editing room floor that maybe showed the relationship between these two, and that moment would have been a more poignant moment, and her sacrifice would have felt like it was something way bigger than what we actually felt ultimately. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, you make sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I understand kind of what they wanted us to feel from it, and by showing us that much, and we were supposed to like connect the dots somehow. But by watching just the movie that they showed, there's no indication of that relationship. But like, she was definitely someone important because she was shown in a lot of the shots that they used. Like she wasn't just like some rando small character.
Yeah, but Asian guys don't get to kiss in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so.
No, not yet. Oh, you're
I had
so
a
salty about
maybe
that.
y'all can explain it to me as well. So the Doctor Strange that was stuck in the universe that collided and everything was gray and stuff. Why was he stuck there if he has the capacity to leave with the book?
Wait, say it again. I missed that question.
Why is
the other Doctor Strange that was there, the evil, well, I guess, evil-ish Doctor Strange, the one that he goes to get the book, right?
Yeah.
And he sits there and he says, "Be careful, the book can corrupt you," and this, that, and the third. Why is he choosing to just stay there?
Because maybe.
Like, why is he just sitting there just waiting? There's nothing there.
That's some hardcore
powerful thing in the universe.
Yeah, that's some hardcore refrigerator logic I didn't even think about, dude. That's a good question. I didn't think about it. I was just so amped up for that fight, I completely forgot about that.
My mind goes, I guess he's just kind of given up. Like, whatever he's done, he's just like, well, shit. Like, there's no point.
Yeah.
There's no point anymore. It's just going to end in this. So I'll just stay.
I kind of messed this up earlier when I was trying to talk about it. So in the middle of the movie, when they're in the futuristic New York, America Chavez says, first rule of the multiverse traveling is you don't know anything, right? So green is red, red is green.
Yeah.
That law never comes up again. Did you notice that? Like, nothing else is inverted in any of the multiverse
except
traveling.
for Mordo.
What about Mordo?
Well, it's a continuation of that same scene, right? When they show up and he's expecting Mordo to hate him, and then Mordo's all like, "My friend, my brother."
Is that the end of? Is that the extent of multi? Like, if we went to another dimension where everything was different, that's the only thing that's different. Like, green is red, red is green. Like, that's the furthest you can take your imagination. With What If and Loki, we went so far with this multiverse stuff, and like, I don't know. I guess with the movies, it's almost like we're spoiled by the shows because the movies have to be so like contained. They have to be so contained in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
There's not enough time to explore anything, especially when you're trying to wedge in all this stuff from the shows. It's a little bit frustrating.
Sure.
But anyway, we have a couple more supers I got to get to here. Let me see. What do we have? Cristiano Ronaldo Aveiro. I can do this all day. Early Captain Carter. Evidently not. Well, why don't we just let your male variant take care of such heavy stuff? Just kidding. Yes, I mean, hey, it does look pretty bad. She's like, I can do this all day, and then boom, out. Let's see, Jatin Hiro. Mom could have been done so much better with the fight sequences. The fight between Doctor Strange and Sinister Strange was the best, in my opinion. What about you guys? I did like that a lot.
That was one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. I loved it.
See, okay, I really, really liked it, but that's another instance where they could have just spent a lot more money on that sequence because they're like throwing these musical notes at each other, and it's all contained in this room. Like, how come the roof doesn't get blown off? Like, why doesn't it go further where they're trying to annihilate each other and like just go full blown with the production value on this movie, man? You got Strange fighting Strange, and it doesn't go bananas. Like, the windows are intact still. Like, come on. Like, it should be insane. Like, absolutely insane. I don't know, man. It just frustrated me.
No, you're right. And it's a horrible tease because you're looking outside of this bombed out house or whatever it is, and you see just chaos off into the distance, swirling stuff and stuff floating and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh, they definitely setting the stage for this because you see it. And like you said, And I'm like, nah, we'll just keep it right here.
Sing
a lullaby.
I thought it was dope how all the dark souls turned into Strange's cape.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty sick.
And the music and everything at that point, I really, really liked it.
Crazy Montreal. So now
him imposing his will on him too. That was dope too.
Yeah.
He was trying to get away. He was like, nah.
You're mine.
I own you now. Yeah, you're mine now. Yeah, I thought that was dope.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Crazy Montreal. So now Strange is the only one with the Darkhold's wisdom. Is it going to corrupt him as well?
Yeah, his third eye. Hello.
Yeah, presumably it will corrupt him over time.
Yes, Syntell.
I'm having a dummy moment and I didn't connect the dots too. So why was there a statue of Wanda already made, like in the Himalayas or whatever it is? I didn't.
She was the prophecy.
Yeah,
the logic.
It was a prophecy.
She's the Scarlet Witch that was prophesized. They talked about it in WandaVision. Agatha Harkness.
Yeah, the movie.
Talks about the Scarlet
I
Witch.
feel like the movie could have gone deeper in backstory. The movie was so concentrated on just moving this plot forward. They didn't really go into too much backstory. Everything was very expository.
Yeah.
Right? Because like she's the who made that? Who made the what's it called? What's that place called? Wondergore.
Wondergore. Yeah.
How come? Who made Wondergore? Like, where did that come from?
Oh, who I forget the name of the entity that created the Darkhold, but I assume that is who created that. Because like all of the writings of the Darkhold are on the wall, or on the walls of the temple, and so I assume that that's the person or the entity that created the sculpture as well.
Gotcha.
Because she's prophesized to come, right? There is only one Scarlet Witch.
Okay, and so in that scene when Wong and Scarlet Witch show up at Wondergore, she asks, for the sake of the audience, how come you didn't just transport us to the temple?
Top. Yeah.
And he goes, well, my magic can't penetrate it.
Chthon, yes. Thank you, Chad.
He says, my magic can't penetrate it, right?
Yeah.
These are lines in the movie to justify why they can't just arrive in the temple. But, like, they just flew in.
The payoff for that?
They just flew in. Like, they literally just go inside. There's no, like, decoding shit like Tomb Raider or anything.
No.
There's no fighting any sorcery surrounding it. There's no like shield guarding it where they can't get. They literally just walk in. No door.
Yeah.
No hidden messages like Gandalf trying to get the crew inside the cave that they were trying to get into. You remember that scene in Lord of the Rings? Like nothing was stopping them from getting inside. So why couldn't they just use the
So here's what I think.
Teleporter to go inside?
I think it's because their magics are different. Right? Wanda or Scarlet Witch's magic is directly linked to the Darkhold. And so if you look at it in the way of white magic versus black magic, right? Perhaps in a black magic place, which is, let's say, that place, you can't use white magic to get there. It's going to repel.
But nothing stopped them from walking in.
Because she's the Scarlet Witch. Those thingies were there. But they recognized her, and then they all bowed down. They're like, the Scarlet Witch is here.
I don't know, man. And then America Chavez was able to star portal in and out of that spot. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine.
Leave your logic.
It's fine. I just think that they fucked themselves by having that line of like why they can't just portal straight to the temple. Like I think Wong could have easily said something like, when she goes, how come you didn't just portal us to the temple? He could have just said, no, that's why. Like he could have just said that, and I would have been more satisfied with that.
Archit Agarwal says that they cannot. What does he say? Sorry, it moved. Something about Wong was just following the rules. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah. They could get in the temple, but Wong was following the rules. It was not related to powers.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Let me catch up on these supers real quick. James D. Sam Raimi said he had a play on classic horror music. I honestly enjoyed that sequence with Evil Strange very, very much. Very creative.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I just wish they went further with it.
That was great.
Ritesh Salkar. Jaby, do you think Dominic Toretto, Vin Diesel, should have helped Wanda because he knows the importance of family? She would have. she would have win.
It's all about family.
Mohit Vats.
It's all about the family.
Yeah, it is all about the family. Mohit Vats. Not fair for people who haven't seen WandaVision. Vishal Agnihotri. I just watched it in IMAX. I actually liked it. Sam Raimi returning to his roots and all. I think MCU is going to be like this from here on. As Kevin Feige said, there will be no Avengers films in the future. This is the future. What? No Avengers films in the future? I feel like we're going to get the Secret Wars at some point. Mohit Vats. Trailer showed Strange versus Strange. Disappointed. Yeah, trailers gave a lot away.
Yeah.
I was very unhappy about that. Shivamani Veluvolu. It is not confirmed that guy was What If Strange. No, it wasn't confirmed, but pretty sure. Corey Widgeant. Since all the Darkholds in every universe were destroyed, Doctor Strange shouldn't be corrupted by it any more than it already did.
Were they?
Yes, all the Darkholds were destroyed.
Body and she is. But were they? We didn't see Wanda's body, and she is the embodiment of that type of magic.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that if you've used the book as much as she has, it probably like becomes a part of you.
Well, what we saw was the temple.
Remember, the book was just a reflection of the temple, anyway.
Yeah.
So if the temple, and if she is a reflection of the temple, then she could be that magic in a sense. The book is just.
Yeah,
it's
irrelevant.
Just an afterthought of the real magic.
Yeah.
I do want to read this comment from Old Mom J because I think it's really good.
Okay.
They said no one has actually mentioned this yet, but in the first Doctor Strange, the Ancient One says, "Open your eye," and touches where his third eye appears. Is the third eye what she meant? I mean, you could look at it in different ways, right? Because if you're going with like, meditation and different spiritual practices, the third eye is where it houses our intuition. It's where we can see things that we don't see and experience in this everyday plane, right? So maybe it is somehow related to that, but he's never had that before, so maybe his connection with the Darkhold and kind of that helped to unlock another level.
Shivam Shekar says, Jaby, the relic Christine used at the end to destroy the damned spirits was a reference to the first movie where he threw it at Caecilius because he didn't know how to use it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering how she knew how to use that.
Yeah, she knows a lot of things. I was surprised too because I'm like, I thought you just know about like multiverse stuff, but I guess you know about ancient relics too.
Wesley Phelps. Agatha had the Darkhold for a while. Why didn't she go batshit crazy like Wanda or get a third eye like Doctor Strange?
Wasn't she a little...
She only had a piece of it, right? That's why she wanted the Scarlet Witch. That's why... Like, that's why she wanted... oh my gosh, what's her name? Before she turned
Wanda.
That's why she wanted Wanda. Like, because Wanda was the last piece to become the Scarlet Witch.
Maybe it just manifests differently with everybody.
Shoot.
Yeah, maybe you just kind of get a different level. But she definitely still had like the black fingertips that you get when you use the Darkhold a lot.
Vibov says, "Man, Jaby, you're that stupid. The temple was of Scarlet Witch, and clearly Wanda didn't know it. So she flew to the temple and took Wong with her without his will." That's not what I'm arguing. What I'm saying is they couldn't portal straight into the temple, but nothing stopped them from just walking in afterwards. That's it. I think you're confused about what I'm getting at. Wong says his magic is limited at the peak of the mountain because the masters of mystic arts are forbidden to enter. Apparently not. He just walked in. Although...
It's just a sign. Just walk by it.
Although, I will say, I mean, to what you're saying, Wong tried to use his dart rope to, like, catch himself, and it just bounced off.
So that is true.
So maybe...
Yeah. No, I thought that was kind of the vibe I was getting. It's like I was trying to explain with the white magic and the black magic. You're in a black magic space. You can't be using your white magic there. It doesn't work.
Amoeba's been asking this for a while. How long is Marvel going to survive without having Tony Stark? We still don't have at least one variant of Iron Man.
I think it's going to do just fine, to be honest with you.
Apparently it's been doing just fine.
Yeah.
Marvel's been making tons of money.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. It seems like it's going to be okay.
TBH.
I feel
they're bringing in another variation because they're bringing in Ironheart. Remember?
Oh, true.
They're bringing in Ironheart, and she is going to be debuted in the Wakanda movie for Black Panther 2.
Wakanda Forever.
So her and Shuri, Wakanda Forever. So her and Shuri are going to be, like the buddy cop of the Marvel verse.
That's all right. Yeah, I'm digging that. Big Mo Logan says Doctor Strange has a third eye in the comic, so I think it might have been a hint to the comics that eventually came to be in this sequel. Whatever it is, I mean, first of all, it's weird AF. I get freaked out every time I see that third eye open in his face. Like, I think it's just the way it looks, and like because it's got the same wrinkles and stuff around his eyes and everything, and it just makes me feel ill because like it almost reminds me of a belly button, but it's also got an eyeball in it.
Anish Mandal in the regular chat says no one is supposed to be able to destroy the Darkhold. It's impossible. That was absolute BS. I mean, they're playing with all the rules. I mean, the Wanda is not even, according to the comics, if I understand correct, I think Syntell co-signed on this earlier, Wanda's not supposed to be in any other universe. There's only supposed to be one of her, kind of like how America Chavez is in this movie. So they're changing up stuff as needed to make the story work. Ritesh Sarkar. Okay, being honest, I hated the post-credit scene.
Which one?
The last one with Bruce.
I enjoyed that.
What's her name? Bruce Campbell?
Yeah. I just thought it was funny. I thought it was like really on the nose. It's like, all right, guys, it's over.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, that and it's a tie-in to Evil Dead too, because his hand gets possessed in Evil Dead.
That's true.
Yeah.
But how come
it's a Sam Raimi film?
Right,
so.
Right. How come when Wanda was in the kitchen when Scarlet Witch first takes over her body?
Yeah.
In 838, how come she looks at the camera?
It's just a.
Yeah, well, it's to break the fourth wall. It's like that. It's like a Deadpool moment. It's just quick.
But for what? Like for what? Why? What was that? I didn't understand
because she can break all dimensions. Yeah, I mean, we're a variation of the Marvel universe.
That is
technically
dumb.
Technically.
That is super dumb. I hated that moment. Yeah. I'm like, why should look at the camera? It was just a moment.
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Was that like I thought maybe it was a WandaVision reference or something because like the whole TV show thing. I thought that's what it might be. Mohit Vats.
Well, I mean, and them breaking the fourth wall is something that happens in Marvel. I mean, it happens in the comics like more often than you probably realize. But Daredevil is just the main one that does it.
Okay, Daredevil.
You mean
no, not Daredevil. Excuse me. Golly, Deadpool. Excuse me. Sorry, Deadpool.
Mohit Vats. For Rachel McAdams, if you see this chat, I love you. Oh yeah, she's just hanging out, looking at all the nerds going to town, talking about the movie. Jack, is Agatha released from Wanda's spell after Wanda's death? I don't think Wanda's dead.
Yeah.
Wanda's not dead.
Yeah.
We didn't see the body.
And I don't think that's how. I don't think that's how the spells work. I mean, Doctor Strange left 838, right? And what's his name? Bruce Campbell was still like dealing with the fist to his face.
Pizza Papa.
Yeah. Oh, those pizza! I wish I was not lactose intolerant, man. Those pizza balls look so yummy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Cristiano Ronaldo Overo, what was Marvel's PR team trying to achieve with so many teasers? We were already hyped up. It was like your date who teased you with pouty lips, but her BJ's included teeth. That's a really weird analogy.
He's absolutely inappropriately correct.
That's a weird analogy.
Yeah. No,
it's
but
just really wrong. Why'd you say it like that, though?
I feel like whoever was in charge of the advertisements for this movie, like, really messed up. Because, like, you have to understand, there's already a huge fan base for Marvel. At this point, you could probably just show a tease of the title and when it's coming out. And we're like, okay, just tell us when we're buying the tickets. We're all there.
Okay. I think that's a little bit overestimating the response. I mean, maybe, but they're doing these ads for a reason. Not everyone is paying hardcore attention like we do. Like, I remember when we went to watch Spider-Man No Way Home, there were people like right in front of us when Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield show up who went, "What? They're in this movie?" Like, no way. I had no idea they were going to be in this movie. It's like, you didn't hear the conversation the rest of the internet was having? And it's because it's a subsection of the internet that's having that conversation. It's not it's not accounting for as many people as you think it does.
Okay.
And so that's why these advertisements are necessary because, yes, there's a huge install of people that are going to go watch this just off the title. But there is a significant amount of people who won't. They need to be advertised at. They didn't even know a lot of people don't even know the movie's out. You know what I'm saying? So
perhaps, but still, they gave away way too much.
I agree. I agree 100%. So anyway, Aditya since the Darkhold was involved, I was sort of hoping Ghost Rider shows up as he destroyed our world's Darkhold in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Man, that better. I can't speak to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I never watched it.
Yeah, I haven't watched that show. I couldn't get into it. I really wanted to, but I didn't find myself getting like really
motivated.
Yeah. Do you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
It had the stench of network on it. It had the stench of network on it. I kind of like leave network alone.
Shivam Sakar did not super chat. I read it the wrong way. Shivam Sakar. Doctor Strange wasn't nearly as creative with his magic in this movie as he has been in the previous films. Don't you agree? I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that he just could have gone way beyond what it did. That's all.
We were lacking in magic, but we got a lot of fun and horror. This is. I just, I feel like we get into the nitty gritty and it gets like really like, man, here's all the things that are wrong, but like the things that were right were really nice.
You know what would have been cool? I mean, this could have gone 1,000 different ways, but the way I was going to say Erica Chavez, the way America Chavez's powers worked was like they get pulled into this race between universes like super fast, right? There's no reason why they couldn't like stay a few minutes in each universe because her power is just constantly active. Because they show us the dinosaurs and then immediately goes away. Like how crazy would it have been if they were stuck there for like 10 seconds
and then they're like running. It's like bah!
Yeah, like
yeah.
It's like it just kind of blew past this thing that was teased at us a lot in the trailer. I don't know. I feel like they could have done more with that. But the whole thing they could have done more with. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm with you on that. That's why I'm saying like she has a cool power that they didn't make cool. She could have used the assets in one universe and in another universe. Like grab a baby raptor and throw it at Wanda's neck, and then they launch into where the Jetsons are or whatever it is, and grab a spacey sprocket gun and shoot that, and launch into another where they grab Wolverine's claws and there's all kinds of crazy things you could have done instead of just taking a scenic romp through the universes.
Yeah.
It's just
Mohit Vats. For Achara, Wanda... Whoops. Oh, yes, it's for Achara. Wanda looked like Midori as mother. I don't understand that.
Really?
Midori dick shit?
Yeah.
Mohit Vats. What's the capacity of IMAX 3D in LA? Full? I don't know what you're asking. The amount of people? There's no IMAX 3D right now in Los Angeles that I'm aware of. Just IMAX and 3D.
Yeah.
Aditya Vig. Wanda was like mom's mom's friend. I wanted the Ancient One.
But then you got to watch the previous film. The Ancient One's gone.
Big Mo Logan in the regular chat says, I hope America Chavez is a Disney Plus series so we can explore that multiverse. Hoping for more in the future.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. I mean, I like we got a little introduction to her, and like I want to know more. She was starting to grow on me by the end of the movie. In the beginning, I was kind of like, and also not super sure about her acting, but all right.
Oh, Sayanch Ahuja says, Jaby, Wanda can have variants, but Scarlet Witch cannot. They're sticking to it.
Gotcha. Okay, good correction. So yeah, that's right, because there weren't any other Scarlet Witches. There's only Wanda.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I like housewife Wanda in her yoga pants and sweatshirt.
They really needed a fight between her and Scarlet Witch. Like...
Ugh, she doesn't stand a chance against Scarlet Witch.
Show us that. Just show it to us.
Very briefly. She's all like, trying not to have her take over her mind, and it's like, too late.
Is Ishmael...
terrible acting kids. Listen, kids are terrible.
You're not as bad.
Every time I saw them on scene, I'm like,
nowhere near as bad as Christina's husband.
Oh my god.
Christina's husband was the worst. Just the absolute worst.
Christina's
husband, yeah.
Yeah.
When Doctor Strange was fighting the eye monster, and it goes, oh
yes, he was terrible.
He goes, that's neat. That's pretty neat.
Well, just the way they all reacted in that scene as well. I was like, okay, this is happening like quite close. Why aren't you all freaking out or trying to find like the nearest exit or something? I mean, you're all just watching and shooting on your phones. I guess maybe that's accurate. Maybe that's where we're at in humanity right now.
Did y'all clock the Asian extra who's being very extra before the doctor from Doctor Strange 1 shows up?
I loved him.
He's sitting down and he sees Strange walk up and he's like,
and then he just shuffles away.
And then apparently the doctor wanted to switch seats with him, so he just bounces out and then comes back in. I'm just like, this extras were acting extremely extra, but like you can't help but notice him. So in Ishmael Hamzoui, I don't know how to say your name, dude. Okay. Ismail Hamzoui. Why didn't Wanda hunt Kang instead of America? You know what? That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Maybe because Kang is too powerful and she could totally punch down with America Chavez. By the by, speaking of punching down,
you know about Kang?
She knew about America Chavez.
Okay.
You know, but like there was this moment in the trailer that bothered me a lot where America Chavez runs up and does this like punch like this.
Yeah.
She runs up and goes, ah! And she punches and you don't know what she's punching at. And you see it in the film and it looks just as bad as it did in the trailer with this shoulder punch. Like, ah.
But you know what? I'll allow it. I'll allow it because she's not actually trying to punch a person. She's just trying to punch holes in front of her. So like, fine, just punch however you want.
We needed okay. That moment was actually straight up ripped from Terminator 2. Straight up ripped right out of Terminator 2. There is this scene in Terminator 2 where Sarah Connor's got the shotgun and she's shooting at the Liquid Terminator. Kapow! Poof, kapow! Poof, kapow! And he's like at the edge, right about to go into the lava, and she runs out of bullets. And the Liquid Terminator like totally does this like this shit. It's like, okay, Sarah Connor's fucked. That's the scene. That's what you're feeling in that moment, right? Right before Arnold Schwarzenegger comes over the whatever it was and shoots Liquid Terminator. So that's what's happening with Wanda and America Chavez. Like, kapow, kapow, kapow. And she's like right on the edge. And like, they don't let these moments breathe. It happens so quick. It's just like over before it starts. The movie needed to breathe. That was another example. I'm just trying to say that's another example of where it just needed to breathe a little bit. We needed a moment where Wanda just kind of catches her fist and looks up slowly and smiles. Like, too much exposition. Just smile at the bitch. Just smile. You got her. What are you talking for? Just smile. Relish in the fact that you conquered her again. Like, enjoy the moment. That's all. But that being said, Wanda was a really good bad guy.
She really was.
You know.
Yeah. I liked her.
I mean, watching her the second time, I'm like, this is a dope villain. I thought they actually... I wish they led us into it a little bit better. Kind of like the way we got to see a Norman Osborn turn. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We didn't really get... Yeah, we didn't get that here. Anyway. Let's see. Where are we? Cristiano Ronaldo Aveiro. The only reason I was so connected with the original Avengers team was because of their proper background movies. The new team is simply replacing them with no backstory, hence I feel a disconnect.
I mean, I think that they're trying to do that with the Disney Plus shows.
Yes.
And that's assuming that everyone who watches movies are going to watch Disney Plus shows. But we all know, I mean, I'm sure we all have friends who are like, oh, they watch the movies, but they don't really watch the shows. Like my sister, for example, she loves Marvel. But she's more of like a movie watcher than a show watcher. She doesn't enjoy all the shows and she doesn't have time to, so she doesn't watch all the shows. So yeah, you're bound to have those people who are like, what? Like, what's going on? Like, why is this? This is not the character that I remember. It's like, yeah, because you didn't watch 6 episodes of a whole season of WandaVision to get to where the rest of us are.
Wizalante. Ben and Liz told script changed a lot. Reshoot a lot. Reason was I assume execution not living up to ideas, hence they are holding off till Secret Wars. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of reshoots and rewrites are happening all the time on all of these movies. Like somehow like it makes news or makes headlines like, oh my god, reshoots. It's like reshoots are a very common part of making movies, first of all.
Very common.
And like rewrites and stuff like that, especially with consideration to like the huge scope of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You best believe that they're going to be making changes all the time. Mohit Voss. We need to stop watching Voss channels and trailers. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's fun, though.
It is fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That's why you do it. You do it because it's fun.
Yeah. I don't mind. You know, like in the Spider-Man No Way Home, right? Like, yeah, we watched a lot of those. We watched a lot of those movies, the breakdowns, and there were theories and stuff that we're all following. But overall, like they managed to keep the two other Spideys under wraps, right? Like they weren't shown in any footage or anything like that. So even though we had an inkling that they might show up, when they did show up, it was like, oh my God, all our theories were correct. And there wasn't really, apart from Reed Richards, there wasn't really more of those moments in this movie, which I felt was a missed opportunity. Like, why not make the fan base feel super vindicated in a way, right? Because it's like, oh my God, all our theories were correct. It's confirmed. You know what I mean? Instead of having it come up in the trailer and be like, yeah, but we knew Professor X was there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what?
Mohit bots. Benedict chose SRK over Rithik as superhero Google. I heard that a few times. That Benedict, he chose SRK to dub him, right? As instead of Rithik or something like that in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness in the Indian version.
Oh no, I don't know.
Huh.
That's cool.
Yeah. If there's anything else that you guys would like us to address before we close this out, I think we've covered the crap out of this movie, like really covered it. So I don't think there's anything else to go over. Unless there's something else you want to talk about, Syntell. I think we did it.
Man, I think yeah, it's so rare that I don't have something to say, right? Yeah, we've covered it. Like it's good.
I think my closing thoughts are, for me, the film was fun. I just wish they did more. I wish they took their time in certain moments more. I wish they relished in these emotional opportunities more.
Yeah.
Instead of it being so expository, I wish that they took the time to let the movie like play out a little bit more so that we could get more connected. I didn't care about America Chavez at all. And she's supposed to be this like really crucial character to the whole story. I should have cared about her more. And so I think that it did the movie a disservice to make it so brief and so much like Star Wars Episode 9. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it nonetheless. I watched it a second time. I enjoyed it. I might watch it a third time in 3D. And the fact that I can go back and watch it again says a lot about the film. So,
yeah. Cult Leader says Xavier saying his line from X-Men Days of Future Past really hit me more than the X-Men animated theme. What did you like better? Mm-hmm. I like
that theme more because I didn't care. Do you have any closing thoughts on that? Yeah.
No, I just wanted to say, like, relating to Xavier, I just really liked how I felt like his character was still like true to what he was like in the Fox movies, in the X-Men movies. Like I liked that he had a lot of optimism and a lot of hope for humanity and for Doctor Strange and for Wanda. Yeah. And even though that ultimately got him killed, I was like, oh my God, this is the Xavier that I love.
Yeah.
You're so optimistic, even when you probably shouldn't be.
And they've taken him out more times than RDJ in What If. Yuvraj Singh. Hey, my name is Yuvraj. Can you please give a shout out, all three of you? Movie was actually good. People were expecting about cameos, not solo Doctor Strange movie. Achara, too cute.
Thanks.
So if y'all can shout out Yuvraj Singh, that would be dope.
Yo, what's up, Yuvraj?
Yo, what's up, Mr. Singh?
Wizalante. Reshoots are common, yes, but first time saw the lead actors state it changed completely in interviews and having no idea what the final story is.
Yeah, I saw some interviews like that.
That also helps to stave off from plot leaks and stuff like that because the actors have no idea what the hell's going on.
Well, I was gonna say, so go ahead, Syntell.
No, I was just gonna say, like the studios test a lot of this footage too. Like they have groups of people that they show to some of the footage too, and they have lots of different multiple endings. Some scenes are in, some are out, and then they fill out the little forms in case you're not familiar with testing to find out what people liked. And they go a lot of times with those decisions based off of that testing. So it's not just to throw the scent off for the actors, but also to find what they think is going to have the biggest bang for their buck with the final product.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, like, kudos to the actors for, like, it's hard to work like that.
Anish Mondel says, do you think Sam Raimi was the best choice, considering what Marvel wanted to show or what the theme was? We'll never know if there was a better choice for this movie. It's his story, like the way he told it. But, I mean, I enjoyed a lot of what Sam Raimi brought to it, like I said earlier.
Syntell?
I think the movie overall was good. It was fun. Was Sam Raimi the best choice for this particular storytelling? Maybe not, but he still did a good job with this form of storytelling when it comes to Doctor Strange's a story. He would probably be better for a movie like Blade. I think that would be kind of like Sam Raimi's wheelhouse, possibly. But I do want to say this, like the actress that plays Wanda, I forgot her name.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen. Elizabeth Olsen just killed it. Like she absolutely knocked it out the park. So if you want to just see like a good character just absolutely take over the screen, she delivered on this one.
Yeah.
A couple more super chats to get through before we close it out. Mohit Vats. For Syntell, who reacts better with you, Jabs or Achara?
There is no better. There's just different shades. There's just different moods.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ritesh Salkar. Jaby, please keep alive where we can all talk with you guys virtually, please. I don't know what that means. We're doing that here, but we got to close out. So, Sparse Saxena. Give a shout out to my friend Matthew Blumen. Shout out to Matthew Blumen. I don't know why, but Matthew Blumen.
Hello, Matthew Blumen.
Matthew Blumen.
Matthew.
Did you have any
Matthew Blumen?
Did you have any closing thoughts that you wanted to share, Syntell, before we say goodbye?
Oh no, just I think Marvel's still on the right direction. I know some people are a little like on the fence. I think the keys are in good hands. I think he's doing it.
All right, cool. So, y'all, did you?
I'm good.
Okay. So, y'all, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully, you enjoyed this live stream. Thank you so much to all the generous super chatters. Thank you to all the regular chatters and people who are just listening like a podcast. Really appreciate y'all. One more super chat came in. Wizalante. Missed Giacchino's theme was used only once. I'm probably saying his name terribly, and I'm half Italian. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Really appreciate y'all, and see you on the next one. Thank you again. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
Achara Kirk.
And
hey, it's your boy Syntell.
Peace out.